Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Now Hagel taking a look, shot blocked. Here comes Gensel, kicked out, rebound. Hagel loads it up, couldn't shoot. Puck was on edge, he'll play it across for Radish. Now Kucherov on the move. Kucherov with a head fake, opens up Gensel, they score! Brandon Hagel tied again. From Pasternak swallowed up, rebound, score! Morgan Geeky starts the scoring, and the Bruins have the lead.
Bit, and it's going to fool Luukkonen. Here's the Pasternak shot, the Dahlin block.
Pushed out by O'Connor to the net. He scores! 2-0 Avalanche. Keeps the eyes up. Oh, he put it in the perfect spot. Right over the top of Duran, and Carter rips down the rim.
Nice defense by Holmgren. With the steal, Hartenstein with the slap.
Tatum alone at the rack, delighting the crowd. Boyer tries to lay down a bunt. He will. Matson grabs it, throw onto first. It's going to get by. Rounding third is going to be Stokes. He's trying to come home and score. He will. Nebraska walks off USC on Friday night.
The pitch. Sharply hit, fair ball down the left field line. This is going to end it. Boyer around third. He's going to trot home. And it's an exclamation point for the Big Red as they sweep 12th ranked USC. Their first clean sweep of a ranked opponent since 2015.
Good morning. Welcome in. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
Oh, we're doing all right. I see you're rocking the Next Gen gear today.
Yeah, I am. Little blue today.
Yeah.
I don't wear it often.
Oh, it looks good, though.
I'll rock with some blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wore the fateful shoes, though, that I said I was never going to wear again.
Are those the ones you ate it in?
Oh, yeah. The Nike socks.
Got to be careful there.
Oh, it's no precip.
You check the weather beforehand?
Yeah. I was like, well, just killed 7 brain cells. Don't have to worry about falling down.
Yeah.
At least. No, I could have a Michael Douglas moment falling down, but
I'm waiting
not
for
due
that
to the precip.
every day.
It's tough out here.
Just waiting for you to snap and be like, you know what? This is it, guys.
Oh, I almost did yesterday, but it was good.
What'd you do yesterday?
Problem was I was at home, and that's not the place to do it. Be somebody else for strangers. No, mostly sports, man. I mean, I figured out, you'd be glad to know, Rico, today, tomorrow, probably next 2 weeks, I couldn't run 4 miles an hour, let alone 24. My quad is shot right now.
Uh-oh. Baseball?
Oh, yeah.
Was it from your stance?
What'd you do?
No. You caught me like in my down. Somebody weird. They caught me in my downswing. I didn't even have the bat up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found somebody.
It's just running down a ball.
Mm.
Was it Juan?
No. It's not somebody you would suspect. And he gave me a great idea.
Did he?
And I kind of have to ask your permission. So I'll do it right now.
It's one of those where you're pushing the envelope.
Yeah. Would you allow us to have a camera crew to document the Damon Benning baseball experience?
Sure. Why not? There's not much to it. It takes me 30 minutes to get warmed up. I don't do a ton.
We're going to broadcast a game, I think.
2 walks yesterday.
I think we should. I think it'd be great.
You know who I like? Scott's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He catches, and he catches a lot of innings. That doesn't complain.
For being an over 50 league, I'm surprised you have like one like primary catcher.
Yeah.
You don't have to switch off more.
Yeah.
Because that's got to be tough on the body. I mean, shoot.
He's serious about his craft too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, pretty good.
Does he like have his own gear and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's nice.
So their softball team is really good.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like they play, I think they probably play 50 and older.
Do they travel?
Yeah.
Oof, those people are serious.
Yeah, they've got one of my high school baseball buddies that plays with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and you could tell they have almost all softball bodies.
Yeah.
Just big guys. Except for their second baseman, who's about Shane's size, but
that's okay.
It's all big guys.
I mean, that's kind of what you want in softball. That's the.
Yeah.
Do they have sweet jerseys? Have you seen them?
Well, their baseball ones are sweet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they have home and away. They have whites this week.
You got to have the home and away.
It's like fudge, man. Whose budget is this? We got to get us a new sponsor.
I say maybe they're sponsored.
No, I did have my guy yesterday. He's like, he's pretty good, and he pitches. Only wanted to throw a couple innings because he was in Carolina this past week, and he goes, "We got to get you to invest in some baseball pants." I was like, "Oh boy, we got one of those guys." I was like, "Dan, don't worry, I've got him. The belt is blue. I didn't want to be a mismatch. I have gray baseball pants. I debated about wearing them. I'm OCD." It's like, "All right, man." It's like, "Jeez, I got to get my act together.
Just can't be out here in windbreaker pants."
No. Breaking 2 electric boogaloo. I'm so glad. Is that ibuprofen?
I've got ibuprofen.
Yeah,
You
can
need
I
some?
have- yeah. I need a little, even though I'm on the script anti-inflam, which apparently does weird things to your stomach if you take a handful.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh, I had to get ready to go yesterday.
Oh, okay, sure. It's not how loading up isn't really how it typically works.
Yeah, I think it is.
You'd be impressed, DB. I suppressed all of my urges to run on the track this weekend after they were done competing.
So how cold was that? I was
Saturday or Friday.
Friday was miserable. So I'm watching people real time, Rico. You were non-existent. I don't know what was wrong with you. You don't like all my BTN Plus access?
Which ones?
I could watch anything.
Oh no, I mean, I was just like, there's a lot of this stuff that I don't care about at all.
Yeah, I could hear you saying that. So it was funny to watch guys and gals literally like throw the shot and discus in a tank top or go run, have the spotters like in winter coats and snow hats.
Oh, geez.
I was in tears. I was like, talk about a little dichotomy.
Dude, it was terrible. The wind was just straight down.
I was watching Nebraska softball, then a little bit of track. I watched Abilene Christian in Indiana for some reason. I was going back and forth with Kyle real time, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not watching that." I was like, just looking for a little moral support.
I was watching mostly obviously Nebraska baseball, but outside of that, it was a lot of NBA, and then I was trying to catch up on some Trevon Lenhart and Bowden Koepke film.
Yeah, so there's a lot of it out there.
Yeah, there's
there's a lot of people that have done breakdowns. I don't know about. I get how Bowden talked about. He had the relationship with Price playing for their team in Minnesota, but Price must have played. He didn't spend a lot of time. He must have been like a hired gun.
Oh yeah, maybe. They do that. They do that.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people do.
Play with one guy for one team for a little while.
Like, hey, we need a shooter.
And I'm starting to see it now, which I never really liked.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's that world. Because even Knucklehead is playing with I told you he's playing with that national team, Domo, in Battle of the Boneyard.
Yeah.
And they're from Florida, Georgia.
I'll say they just pick guys up.
It's Champ Bailey's deal.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I like Champ Bailey.
I think he's grossly underrated. I saw it was the equivalent to marry, kill, whatever. It was like had to get rid of 5 cornerbacks. It's Champ Bailey, Darrell Rivas, Champ Bailey, Darrell Rivas, Deion Sanders, Darryl Green, and one more. It was elite. It was elite. I was just looking at the comments. I'm like, I'm not here for the Champ Bailey slander.
No. Was it Charles Woodson?
Nope.
I would take.
Would you have Charles Woodson primarily as would you call him how long did he play true corner?
Well, yeah, that's tricky. He didn't move full-time safety until Green Bay, though, right?
Yeah, but they used him like a nickel too.
Yeah,
a little
they used
bit.
him all over the place.
Was it Ronnie?
No, corners, not safeties.
Well, he played both. So
yeah, well, he came in San Francisco as a corner, but he's a Hall of Famer as a safety.
Yeah.
I do like the fact you knew that. Thought you'd be all in Avalanche loved. I didn't think you'd talk to us this early. Although I know you were nervous.
Well,
just a little bit.
It's that time of it's that time of year. Shane, do you want Fernando Mendoza?
Yes, I do.
I went down some stupid.
Good morning.
Good answer, Shane.
I went down some stupid rabbit hole where you know how we talked to Ryan Roberts.
Yeah.
Draft, and he has.
Oh, did he quote tweet the guy that talked about Fernando Mendoza?
Yeah,
I saw that.
So the first round. So that guy that I won't give him any burn. I mean,
no, but there's a guy that claims to be a former draft scout that said Fernando Mendoza is the least athletic or mobile quarterback he's ever evaluated,
and it's aggressive. What is it? First round mock drafts is the
I don't remember
Twitter
the name.
account?
I don't remember the name of it.
I mean, he's got like first round mock.
Yeah,
is the as a matter of fact, it's still open. I went right to it. It's still open.
Yeah, him and Ryan Roberts have like real beef.
They have a beef.
Yeah, like real beef.
So allegedly, this guy says he's a former NFL scout. I knew he worked for the Jets, but I think he was like the assistant to the area scout.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Yeah,
and he pawns it off. I mean, whatever. But he does a lot of sit downs with like networks.
Yeah, the first round mock guy does.
Yeah. So I'm guessing. Well, it's all over his Twitter account.
I didn't dive too deep into him.
Yeah, because
I just went through
like
that.
2 years. This is like 2 years of they've been going back and forth over this.
I just always go through the threads. I don't know that I have looked at his Twitter account too closely.
No, he's had some hot takes. He had a 4th round grade on Caleb Williams. Who was his QB1 last year? 2 years ago. I know Penix was QB2. QB1 was
he a McCarthy guy?
No, McCarthy was like 7.
Okay.
You know his QB1 this year is?
Who?
Carson Beck. I said, oh, Ravi, you'll like that.
Not really. Not as a QB1. I mean, what are we talking about? There are things I like about Carson Beck if you can get him in like the 4th round.
That ain't it.
No, like if you get, he's a guy that like, okay, if I get him in the 4th round or something, I'm interested in like, okay, let's see what's here. He's played a lot of big football games. He's shown some resiliency. Most of his resiliency is because of self-inflicted things. So there's a balance there, obviously.
Balance?
But like that's a guy like, hey, late day 2, early day 3, like, yeah, let's see what we got here. I would take Carson Beck over like Taylon Green.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not just betting on, hey, this guy's got incredible.
Did you watch Taylon Green sit down with Gruden?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Nah, I'm not playing receiver.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not going to do that.
Taylon Green, he's a big guy.
He is. It's like, I don't think you're going to be in the league very long if you're not a little open to some things, right?
It's a big dude.
Like, I understand conviction, but I also understand, like, reality. Like, you've had a while to try and figure out how to be a quarterback, and that hasn't really worked yet. You think it's going to work at the highest level? This was my Anthony Richardson problem.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he hadn't even had as much time to figure out being a quarterback as Taylon Green had, but you're going to, like, I literally think there's a line in Moneyball about this where they're like going through the scouts, like, oh, he just has to figure out this, and this. He needs some major league at bats. It's like he's going to figure out how to hit in the major leagues because that's probably not a thing, right? Like, if you can't hit curveballs in AAA, you're not going to hit.
Although we have seen guys.
Yes, but again, outliers. Like the outliers ruin it for the actual evaluations because you're like, oh, he could do this, and this. It's like, yeah, but you have to look at the 99%, not the 1% when you're trying to figure things out. Like you can't build an organization around the 1%. That's not going to work out most of the time.
No.
That's how you end up with Anthony Richardson as a number 4 pick.
And should be on the move. If I'm the Minnesota's got to be making a move. Speaking of McCarthy before the draft, don't they? How about ES? I mean, all in on the draft. Sports Center this morning, it like has the draft capsules and who's hot, and I'm like, must be draft week.
It is.
I don't remember them doing that a week out or 4 days out. Or
I'm not sure. I don't remember what the other coverage has been like. I know they've like every year sort of ramped up what they've been doing. It's honestly, it's smart. Like they should.
Well, hopefully everybody's in Pittsburgh already so they can learn how to navigate the city. I'm telling you, logistically,
it's rough.
It's not fun.
There's a lot of those older East Coast cities that are tough to get around.
Yeah.
They were not designed for current modes of transportation.
Not exactly real spacious. By the way, I'm worried about my Pens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Flyers. I hate. Of course, I hate Philly. So that's gonna be the end of me.
Yeah.
First it's the Eagles, and now it's the Flyers.
You know,
there should be only one team in the Keystone State.
It's a big come up for Philly.
Shane, are you worried about your Avs at all, or no? You good?
Well, they had a slow start, but I mean,
actually, the start they got out 2-0. I thought the start was okay.
Well, the first period was slow, but it really once they opened up the ice though on that 4-on-4, it kind of it kind of.
It's a lot of 4-on-4 this weekend.
Yeah.
I think the only game
Jeez.
I watched for hockey was Buffalo Boston.
Oh, that was outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a Buffalo fan.
If you're not a Bruins fan.
For about 50 minutes, it was, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Wait, are you a Bruins fan too? What's happening here?
No, I hate the freaking Bruins.
Yeah, I don't think Shane can rock with the Bruins.
Okay. Well, I
Or
don't know.
Philadelphia Flyers, any of those teams.
I don't know.
No.
He's got such conflicting interests. It's hard to keep track of sometimes.
That's a good point. It was a very, 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 very average weekend.
Yeah,
The Pens lose.
it was only okay.
Padres are 13-2 in April.
I mean, minus that Husker baseball sweep.
That's fantastic. We'll get to them.
Yeah, we'll talk to Benny Mack at 9:30.
Yeah, we're bringing him back on short notice. So I didn't know you already had a thing out to Nick, but you said you hadn't heard back from Nick yet?
I did later, but he actually isn't available tomorrow. He's got.
Oh, man, what's wrong with old handles?
I don't want to say on air.
Okay. All right,
I
everybody.
mean, he's fine.
I mean, everybody gets a vasectomy every now and again. It's no big deal.
It's
no big
deal.
I don't know what his problem is. Because I was just joking with Eddie Garcia last week. I was like, nobody told the Bruins they weren't supposed to be good again every year. And I'm like, these sons of guns are up 3-0.
Then
Because-
Buffalo's like,
Buffalo was like they were like minus 160 fave on the money line.
well, they were.
So that would have been quite an upset.
They had been terrible on their power plays.
Yeah.
Like for
Yep. 3/4
of that game.
Special teams was roddy.
And then they just break through and all of a sudden, obviously, get the 4-3 win. But
The most impressive performance, Shane, was definitely the Minnesota Wild.
They were solid.
Well,
They are scary.
They are.
Both those teams are scary, but I mean, Minnesota really.
I
really
was
looked
tempted to put them in the finals. I was tempted to take the Wild, but
It'll be another time that
do
Avalanche
it.
won't get out of the second week.
I just didn't want to pick
Second
against
round.
the Avs.
yeah, didn't want to hurt Shane's feelings.
No, I could care less, or couldn't. Wait, I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I think that's right.
It's a pet peeve. It's absolutely right. I hate when people say they could.
It's like, well, yeah, everybody could care less.
Yeah. No, I couldn't care less.
That's fair.
So, I mean, how would you like to be? Wait, who'd we talk to Thursday or Friday? Was it Sean Devaney?
About basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked to Devaney.
I get why he didn't like Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I didn't realize that's 11 in a row they've lost at home in the playoffs.
yeah, but none of these guys were on those teams.
I'm just saying it's a poopstins thing.
I do think Orlando, if like a healthy Orlando, is a pretty bad matchup for them.
They're pretty a healthy Orlando's pretty good.
Yeah, we just haven't seen that most of the year.
I mean, that's pretty good.
You know, Suggs has been banged up at different times in the year.
My man lost all his hair.
Yeah, that still freaks me out. Like, because he had like the little mini fro at
he's
Gonzaga.
He's not an old guy.
No, he's 26, maybe. Not even.
Yeah, maybe not.
No, because he was in the 2021 bubble,
and he was old.
He was old for his class.
Yeah, Suggs was old.
So
I think he was 19,
maybe 25. But yeah, not old enough to look like that. He looks like Derek White.
So
Jalen Suggs was working on mini dreads for a while in the NBA. So when I first saw him bald, it was very surprising.
Yeah, it's a jump scare a little bit.
Yeah.
I was talking.
You're right. I was like, oh, it's Derek White. When did he get with the Orlando Magic?
Yeah, Derek White finally was just like, the heck with it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to at some point, you know.
So the weird thing, Suave, I was joking with those guys about 8 seeds never, like they're always blowouts.
Mm-hmm.
Did you realize Orlando is the first 8 seed to never trail in a first round game?
Really?
They led start to finish.
I knew that start to finish. I didn't realize that was the first time ever.
First time ever. Like that's my.
Yeah, that checks out. Yeah, that checks out.
I mean, you've had a couple like full on upsets. Like you would have thought maybe.
Yeah, somebody
like
would have
series
gone wire
upsets.
to wire.
Yeah.
Nah, Orlando was the first.
That's wild.
So welcome to
That's not that surprising. To lead from start to finish as the worst seed, like you're going against the 1 seed.
It's the first time it's ever happened. Like you couldn't get a 2-0, not 6-2, not 8-4. They never
and just hold it the whole time.
They never trailed at any point in a basketball game.
That's not surprising.
Oh fudge!
All right, I guess Rico just here for pooping on things.
Well, Detroit sucks, so it doesn't really matter.
Wow. Haterade is Thursday. What flavor is that? Suave?
That thing wet.
No, that's a fruit punch today.
Oh, that's.
It's
I don't even think I can.
Go ahead.
say it.
Go ahead.
Sure can't.
Go ahead.
You know, we've need a little extra sugar this morning.
Yeah. How we doing? You not feeling good?
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a rough weekend.
Oh, you telling?
It's just not ideal.
No. What's going on?
So my insulin site went bad twice yesterday alone.
So does that mean it's not reading well, or like,
no?
what
That
does
means
mean?
I'm not getting insulin. So like, which is
like
like the actual
port
where
where it goes in.
Yeah, port's a good word for it. It's yeah, so it means I'm not getting insulin. It got blocked. But I can't feel it.
How did it get blocked?
Well, it's like in your body, stuff happens. You know, I don't know.
Were you being a little too movie?
No, it's just sometimes it just gets a little
Blocked by James.
wackety. You know, I don't know.
What is?
I don't know. I don't know the science behind it, man. It's just like sometimes it doesn't work right, and so
It's a very thin.
it is, yeah.
highway.
So you have to be really careful about applying it correctly, and then if you don't know right away usually, unless it's like bleeding all over the place, which sometimes it does, which is not great either.
Where's the entry point?
This one I usually keep my insulin on my leg, and then my glucose monitor I keep on my stomach. You get better readings on your stomach, I think, but the insulin absorbs.
You're the one that matters.
Well, a lot of different diabetics are like, oh no, it works better for me here, and it's like, I'm not doing that. But the insulin absorbs okay in the legs and the stomachs for me.
Are you gatekeeping the glucose reading?
No, they can do whatever they want. It's just like, different body types and like fat accumulation, things like that. Like it just sometimes it just reads differently on different people.
Okay.
But yeah, so for whatever reason, twice yesterday the insulin site went bad. Wasn't getting insulin, but there's like a lag. So by the time your pump is supposed to let you know when the insulin isn't going through, but it doesn't always in like real time. Sometimes it takes a minute because it doesn't want you to have to like redo sites all the time. So by the time it happened, like we were pretty. I mean, I could show you the graph. It was not great. But then you get super high. Not to make any 420 jokes here. High blood sugar.
Is today 420?
Yeah. And then so this is the first.
Rico, you get zooted?
That's the first time it went bad.
Oh, geez.
Not anymore.
Second time it went bad. Just right after we started to come down, and then finally got a good site, and it's like, hey, here's all the insulin.
Whoa.
And then that I was like, oh, that's in the middle of the night, so it's like, oh, I'm dying, I should eat everything that I have.
That's the epitome of a valley.
Yeah, that was pretty low. That's the bottom of the graph, and I'm right next to it.
Yeah. That's the opposite of ain't no hill for a climber. That's a
Hey,
hill.
Ravi, how do you explain like the feeling at night when you wake up and you're like, I'm dying?
Dude, I literally, and people think I'm being dramatic. Like when you have a really bad low blood sugar, like it feels like you're dying. Like I don't know how else to explain it. Like your heart's racing.
Worse than CWS a couple years ago.
Yeah, because that was like the hangover effect of it. But like the overall, it was just longer. It was a longer duration of things being shitty. So like that was like
that's the night that morning he said he had over 400 grams of carbs.
Yeah, and it didn't spike like that.
400.
Yeah, it would not.
I said, what time that start? Oh, it's about midnight or 1.
Yeah,
and we were on air at 9.
Yeah, but it took like 3 hours. Like my blood sugar was low for like 3 hours, and that sucked. And that, the scary part about that one is I needed all of that. Like my blood sugar never spiked on that one. Like it didn't do that one. Like I overcorrected on this one, obviously.
So that explains a lot about why you're very you lack a little sensitivity sometimes for people that complain about their issues.
Oh, 100%. Like, and I'm aware of it. And it's a thing that, especially with my wife, like I have to remember, like, hey, not everybody has lived their entire life this way. Like this, whatever they're going through is hard for them. Like I have to like grade on a scale basically, because it's like, I can't expect them to apply my life experiences to them, but it is, I've you're gonna laugh at me. I do really struggle with empathy for people that are going through like illness and stuff because it's like just figure it out, man.
I know that's what you want to say
all the time, and it's like it's a
Jeez.
total dick move. I get that, and it's not their fault. I understand it's a me problem, but like when
I'm never
people
going to tell Ravi when I'm sick.
when people are sick, I'm just like, all right, dude, okay.
I'd be like, Ravi, I'm on the couch. I can't breathe in my nose. I'm so tired.
Like if people are like throwing up or whatever, it's like, yeah, stay the F away from me. Like I don't want you to anywhere near me. But it's like anything, a lot of just like, oh man, I'm really under the weather. It's like I've tried to be better about it because I've like become self-aware, but it is it's tough.
Do you want me to go get Action Jackson for you?
Why? What did he say?
He said, I think you're being dramatic.
We didn't have to tell on him. We could have just
It's fine. Austin doesn't care.
No, he clearly doesn't.
Yeah. It
so did you chill or what?
When?
Like if the week you just watching you ate at the restaurant.
Yeah, no, that was
and did you like that meal?
It was okay. I didn't like the flavor that I got that much, but I do think there's things.
Do you like that style of wing?
Yes, that was really good.
That's my it's not my favorite.
Maybe not that place, but that style.
But that style is.
So it was. I had like Korean fried chicken at a place, and it was the style was very, very appealing to me. The meat was really good and stayed like juicy and tender and all that kind of stuff. And the crisp of the skin was really, really good.
Yeah.
I didn't like the particular flavor that I got, but that's again on me.
No, for me, I've been twice. First time was a couple years ago on a recommendation from Asian Wyatt.
Yeah.
And I had it dashed.
Yeah.
So I got the sauce on the side. No, that was the second time. Sorry. The first time I went there, I was not rolling the dice.
Yeah.
And now there's one. So there's one by West Side, and there's one by my buddy's nutrition shop.
Yeah.
So
that's the one I went to.
I get the sauce on the side, but I always start with just the plain spicy.
I think I need to just try the plain.
It's legit. Because and everybody's kind of going back to those party style wings too, where you know, KFC brought them back. I think Popeyes brought them back. I think people are going to just traditional.
Yeah.
Churches had them for a while, but then I think people were like, well, why do you just have baby pieces of your regular fried chicken?
Yeah, that's tough at like a fried chicken place.
I like baby pieces of.
No, it was really good. I liked it a lot. Stylistically, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I went to Friday was not a great eating day. But I went sitting in the barber chair and got talked into a chicken spot in South Omaha, which was incredible. But I got it to go. So it's still not gone.
Yeah.
Just kind of ate it a little bit over the weekend.
Yeah. Just picking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Friday night had a gift card. I didn't leave my house after Friday. So it was a drop off, and I don't know how this sports bar stays in business.
Yeah, you told me that. Honestly, I wonder that about a lot of places.
It was just really, and now again, it was to go, and it's 8:30 at night or whatever, and I'm like, there's certain places I'm like, I'm probably not doing to go food there. Yeah, if it's barbecue.
I mean, there's a lot of places.
Late in the day, but like, it was bad, and I went safe. Like, how do you not do a decent breakfast sandwich? I didn't touch the tots, but they smelled like grease. They literally sat. Oh, I tossed them, but I'm like, you guys ain't changing the oil.
Yeah, the
was not good.
I don't. When Natasha and I were like door dashing stuff all the time, and then we're just like, hey, we're wasting too much money on this. Like, if we're gonna go out to eat, let's just go out to eat, whatever.
Right.
I was stunned because we had like just gotten so used to the like takeout process or whatever. I was stunned how much worse the food is.
Yeah.
Almost across the board.
It's 100%.
You know, and so that's like now I don't even want to DoorDash things or whatever, Uber Eats, or not to give anybody special treatment, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know if I can go back. Like, it's just not good.
Yeah, I was like, huh. I How do you guys function?
So talking to Emmett, the lowest I've ever been is 23, and I was
talking about the sugar.
Yeah, I was still awake. I did pass out at like 28 once, so like it's not always a direct correlation. And guys, I'm talking about like normal sickness, not like cancer. Like, don't be idiots. Like, come on. Somebody's like, oh, somebody's going through chemo. You're gonna be a dick about it. It's like, no.
Hey, Juan, you've been to Pollo? I don't know why I'm asking Ron, but have you been to?
I know why you're asking Juan. You said Juan and then Pollo. I think I know why you're asking him.
Just the name of the place. There were like 4 black people in there. Mom, her son, and 2 people waiting, and then 2 Hispanic construction guys.
What's the place in Breaking?
Pollo, it's Pollo Dorado.
What's the place in Breaking Bad? Rico, do you know? It's Pollo. Okay, you're not a Breaking Bad guy.
No, we don't have one of those here. A-Train.
Yeah, El Pollo Loco.
We don't have one. We don't have one here.
I think that's the place in.
Mike and I went to one in Dallas, and I stayed while he took a tour of Jerry Jones World. I was not going in that stink tank. What would I do now?
Yeah.
Pollo Dorado, that's what it is.
All right, let's take a quick break here. Rico and Austin are yelling at me. So we got
our kitchen in too bad. Rico is at least a little less subtle. Like it's the I can see that.
I just get increasingly aggressive messages from Austin. He's like, hey, take a break after the diabetes talk. Okay, take a break after the food talk. And it's just all caps. Break. So, yes, Bruin Steve, El Pollo Hermanos. That's the Breaking Bad place.
Oh, it's 7:30. This dude's got us taking a break.
Well, we got to get 6 in again today.
Hey, I can't count the 6.
Yeah, Los Pollos Hermanos. Thanks, Bruin Steve, and all after we get to that. Austin, hey, take a break after this Breaking Bad talk. That's the name of the chicken place in Breaking Bad, run by Giancarlo Esposito.
Juan Carlo?
I think he's Colombian, though.
That sounds a little Colombian-ish.
Something. Or maybe El Salvador. I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know what Giancarlo's original...
Mike, his name is...
Yeah, he doesn't. He goes by Mike.
Mike Stanton.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be right back.
It's time to shift into spring at Edwards Nissan. Lease the 2026 Nissan Rogue Platinum starting at just $349 a month. Shift into the ride you've been waiting for. Spring on this deal before it's gone. Drive away with more this April. Or lease the 2026 Nissan Pathfinder SV, a third-row SUV, starting at just $399 a month. Don't wait. Shift into a fresh deal this spring at Edwards Nissan.
Yeah, I went through a back injury, I want to say end of October, beginning of November, and it spiked up, it went up and down. I mean, it was hard to maintain, but I think the most important thing is that mentally, I think I'm stronger too. Yes, injury is hard on your body and it's hard to come back through physically, but mentally building that confidence and building the trust from your teammates and trusting yourself. And I think my teammates and my coaches have done a really good job of, making sure that I'm maintaining this health and building off of it and getting stronger, but not overdoing it. And so I think just coming back healthier, but also more confident, I think has been something I'm proud of rather than just the injury.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Juan says he must be a big back because he gets food videos on here all the time.
Who?
Juan.
Juan's a big back?
That's what he said. He goes, I can't lie, I must be a big back. I got lots of food vids from around here.
He does pump out pics quite a bit. At least, well, he just sends them to me on DMs.
Kel Jim says, did McDonald's really just send me a notification on a $17 deal? If it's not under $7, I'm not interested.
Oh, shoot. Fatball Jesus, why didn't you tell me that earlier? Maybe that's what's wrong with my rib cage. It's probably an ulcer. It's my low tummy. Damn it. He says don't take ibuprofen and a prescription anti-inflammatory. Give yourself an ulcer, potentially kidney damage. Well, I haven't been doing it that long.
I'll say I think that's if you do it like regularly. A couple one-offs should probably be fine.
Let's hope you're
I don't
right.
think it's helpful, but I don't think it's going to like instantly give you an ulcer.
Let's hope you're right.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Dang.
If you do get an ulcer, I'll be a dick about it and be like, hey, come on, DB, figure it out.
Let's figure it out. Figure it out. Golly, glucose in the 20s?
Yeah, no, it's rough. I've only been in the 20s a couple times. It's honestly anything like when I start to get below like 50, I start to get like we're in real trouble. Like I don't feel good below like 80, which is higher than a lot of people, but 20s is brutal. Like you're pretty close to having a seizure at that point. Not good. But
Ravi, I know you don't want to explain it to anybody, and I know that you're not going to, but I'm just going to say this for everybody, or for like the three people. I don't think he's going up to terminally ill people and saying, hey, figure it out.
Yeah, I mentioned that, but it's fine. I'm talking about people with like colds mostly.
Yeah.
That I'm like, why aren't you at work today?
I can imagine somebody has like their leg chopped off, and Ravi's like, dude, figure it out. What are you doing?
They got pretty nice prosthetics these days, guys. Come on.
Why are you complaining?
You got some Blade Runner stuff. You're probably faster than you were before.
No, you did make light of a guy that could shoot with no appendages.
No, I didn't make light of it. I was trying to figure out how it happened.
That's different. He killed a guy.
That's true. Like he gets to be made fun of.
And he kind of chuckled.
He's
But
also
he killed. Look, if you kill somebody, we're gonna make fun of you.
Guy that lost his life, but this is funny.
No, the image of a dude with no arms and no legs, both driving a car and then shooting someone is funny.
Yeah. It's not the thing that happened.
Very sorry that the person died. I can't do anything about that now. The image of what happened is amusing. Also, that dude's a straight up psycho. Have you seen some of those videos? He's nuts.
I wasted probably, I don't know, 2 hours that night. 2 hours and some change in the middle of the night on that dude's videos.
Yeah.
Because I came back and I talked to you. I was like, this guy's like pretty fast with it too. He's rolling around on the ground, like doing like Rambo moves.
He's like relatively fast for it. He's faster than you would think for someone
He's faster than I could do it.
With zero appendages. He is not fast enough for me to be sitting next to him in a car and be like,
you never know.
Don't do that.
He's fast enough to scare you, though.
You would do it
Yeah, hold on. Let me give you something that I can knock out of your hands without
like
it
this
being.
pencil.
Yeah, you'd be like, stop it. Don't do that. Don't shoot me right now. Like that's.
Could he have like rolled out of the way? I don't know, man. That's a wild case. Should be pretty shut and closed though. Or
especially with like
closed.
especially with everybody that knows him being like, oh yeah, he loved guns. He was super violent. I wouldn't trust him. It's like, yeah, even if you didn't have two witnesses in the backseat that saw it, pretty easy case to make when there's videos of on the internet of him snorting lines of coke off a window and then shooting an AR.
Well, I missed the coke one.
Oh yeah, he's like doing a handstand, or
I have a question.
Not a handstand, I guess, for him.
It's a headstand. I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
You can't stand on his hands.
What's what I said? Not for him, but it wasn't on his head either. It was on the.
It was a nub stand.
Yes,
it's like a kickstand.
Yes, and so he was like upside down. And like, I think he's doing a bong.
How does a guy with no appendages chop lines for coke?
I think it was pre-chopped for him. There were friends involved. Because it was like upside down doing the bong, then on the windowsill snorting the stuff, and then some white substance, allegedly. And then just shooting an AR out the window.
It could have been like Fun Dip.
God knows what. I don't know
what
he
make Fun Dip.
They do. It wasn't Fun Dip.
Oh.
I don't think you're snorting Fun Dip before you shoot an AR. I'm going to be totally honest with you.
You're just trying to simulate the effects.
It was weird, man.
Dude lives a hell of a life.
They still make Fun Dip.
He's got kids.
Yeah, my kids love Fun Dip.
Wow. Wacka flocka. He never ceases to. Chuck must be younger than I think.
You think so?
Gotta be.
Oh, with the Waka Flocka reference?
Gotta be.
I'll be honest, I was imagining Chuck skewing a little older.
Me too.
Until the Waka Flocka reference.
Me too.
Maybe he's just hip with it.
Chuck could be like my age.
Could be.
Could be.
Probably doesn't have as many kids though.
What time do you leave the track meet?
Which day?
Friday.
I got over at like 7. I think I left at like 6:30. Actually, no, I stayed the whole time. I was in the booth when the javelin happened, when Keyshawn chucked it like a half mile.
Yeah, you had to be frozen.
Yeah, it was not great.
That seems fun.
Yes,
a lot more.
It was.
How miserable do you think baseball was the first 6 innings?
Not good.
It was. So we're there, and people are talking about the baseball game, and I was like, oh, they're down 7-0. All right, whatever. Next thing I know, it's like, oh, it's tied. What happened? This is crazy. And then somebody's like, hey, they won. I'm like, how? You see the play, and it's crazy. And then the next 2 days, it didn't even matter. They were like, yeah, we're done playing with you.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, I couldn't just.
And then they just don't look back. Again, we'll talk to. Did we set the lineup?
I said Ben McLAUGHLin at 9:30. That's the only one I said. We will have Sam McKEWON back this week at 8:00 at his normal spot, and then we will have Bob Nightingale at 9 from USA Today. Talk a little Major League Baseball. But no, that's the baseball heavy show. But I just couldn't believe the number of runs they put up on USC, like with that pitching staff.
Yeah. So I think the two things that I was the most shocked by are obviously that and the fact that SC just kicked it around. It was like playing soccer.
Yeah.
But listen, I'll take it. And Nebraska gets a ton of credit. I didn't realize SC's resume was as shaky as it was going in.
Oh, in terms
quality
of
victories.
Yeah. Let me look at that. I haven't.
It's not great.
I have not looked at that very much this year.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at what we got here.
Go ahead.
For the Trojans. Pepperdine early. It always bums me out to see Rice and know that that's not a good win anymore. Just randomly nostalgia for anybody who's paying attention. Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's not. It's you watch the way that I know, especially for their ranking.
Yeah.
I don't think they had any quad 1 wins.
Where does CU Bakersfield land?
They're not Cal Santa Barbara, who I watched.
Or Santa Barbara. Sorry, Santa Barbara. They've got one win over Santa Barbara.
Yes, well, that's got to be Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Because I think Santa Barbara was like top 30 RPI.
So that would, that looks like,
But yeah, I thought I saw that 0-9 in Q1 in quad ones ops.
Dang.
Yeah. No, sometimes I'm crazy. I didn't think that was crazy.
No, that's for being number 12. That's a little dicey.
Yeah, Nebraska's now in double digits
for quad wins
for Q1. Yeah. Which
they're now number 21 and Nebraska's number 20.
Seems light, doesn't it?
Yes. It's just crazy how Nebraska was top 25, and then they had the loss to Kansas, and then the 2 to Oregon.
20 seems light because they're pretty good.
So
they're pretty good.
RPI has Nebraska at 14.
Yeah,
and Southern Cal at 15.
Where's Santa Barbara RPI?
28.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you said 30.
Top 30.
Yeah, that's so that I think that's the best win of the year for USC, which is crazy.
Unbelievable.
For what we thought of them, because they lost to Oregon State, which is ahead of them.
And then in vintage Nebraska fandom, the worse the weather got, the rowdier that fan base got.
Well, yeah, a lot of people use alcohol to stay warm.
It was not ideal. Saturday was sneaky cold.
Yeah. No, it was not great baseball.
And they just were like all in.
Sunday, I think, would have been okay. Sunday would have.
It was still deceptively cold.
It was, but it was
better.
It was the best of the options for
Saturday.
Sure.
Sunday was beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know about beautiful.
Early, it was
great.
Yeah, like at the start of the game, but
we're outside all day.
I'm not whining about being outside. And, I mean, heck, my old butt got warmed up just fine playing baseball. So now it's at noon, but it was chilly early.
Yeah,
and in the shade it was chilly. And I'm not a guy that cares much about the weather, whether it's hot or cold. To be honest, but Saturday was, I watched a little bit of Micah 7-on-7 up at your old place, Millard North. Which, by the way, that parking, like a goddamn car lot, used car lot. The whole thing was pretty much full.
Yeah,
except the southeasternmost corner. So the part that would be the furthest
by the softball field.
No,
southeast. Hold on,
closest to 144th and Pacific.
Oh,
so the Dunkin' Donuts corner.
Yeah, that's what.
That parking lot.
Appropriately, that's what we used to call the stoner lot. That's where the kids that would smoke weed would go out into the.
Oh, that furthest.
Yeah, they'd go the furthest away from the school.
So even in the southwestern lot, which was kind of behind the gym, where
that's by the softball field.
Yeah. Like even that was full.
Yeah.
Every place, and people just do what they want to do.
That's a pretty big parking lot too.
It's huge.
Like that's
for
not
what it is.
That's not like Westside has a pretty small parking lot.
It's horrible
for the size of the school.
It's arguably the worst in the metro.
It's not like that. Like Millard North has a big parking lot, and for it to be that packed is crazy.
I mean, they used every outside of being on the grass field where the track is, and the newly built part of the field. They used every square inch of that for 7-on-7.
Dang,
it was mob deep.
Yeah. How was it?
It was okay.
Yeah, I know it's not your favorite thing in the world.
I'm trying to. I get it though. Like I've come around in terms of, because a couple of guys that we have playing, they'll be much better for playing. You just got to eat the meat and spit out the bones.
I mean, there's value
the
there.
body movement, the kind of understanding angles, high pointing balls.
I say ball skills, right?
That's a real thing.
Yeah,
that's
just
a
reps
real
on
thing.
it too, right?
But, I mean, no real quarter. I mean, unless you're just not getting 5 clean seconds. You know what I mean?
No, not without having to move or climb the pocket or roll out or something, right?
So it's like,
I do think
I don't know how people do it at Central.
Central's a nightmare.
It's probably the only one that would rival Westside in terms of poor parking.
I would agree. There's nowhere to go.
And then once you get in there, especially if you're on that stadium side, the press
They're
box
looking
side.
out.
You can wait a while.
Yeah, it's brutal.
And they changed the changed the parameters by the Jocelyn. So
Yeah.
it's like
that's
a total crap shoot.
When Jocelyn like reopened after their remodel, that made it way worse.
Yeah.
Way worse.
So I hadn't been I hadn't like taken a look at that.
Yeah.
But I came up wait, it's not Capitol. Did I come up Douglas?
Douglas. I think.
Well, no, because I have to be heading west.
Oh, so it'd have been Dodge, and it's right off of Dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm coming up through like 16th, 17th, 18th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Dodge. And I'm like, I did not know that part of Jocelyn was built.
Yeah. So
And
we
I'm like,
went
where have I been?
last summer. I think it opened like last spring.
But if I'm on 24th, I'm heading north to south probably.
Yeah.
Or south to north. Either one
Yeah.
of
So
those
you may
two.
not see
So
it.
I don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you can really see it unless
And
you're
I don't
looking for
and I
it.
don't like coming up Dodge.
Yeah. I generally don't either.
I cut over coming from 14th because I was coming back from Constable, and I don't know why, but I was looking to get on St. Mary's from roughly 14th Street.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I took the left on Cummings because I didn't want to go through all the so I cut over and then I came up Dodge.
I mean, if you're not looking for it, you can miss it from Dodge. Even like
I didn't know they did all that. I was like, huh.
it's pretty nice. Like
it's pretty.
It's really cool, and they did a good job. I don't know how many people care about this, but I thought they did a really good job of like matching architecture. A lot of times with additions, it's like,
look at you showing your range.
There's the addition, and like it's kind of gross looking, you
Yeah.
know. But like I thought they did a really good job of like blending the new parts so it looked at least somewhat original because it's like a very unique looking building, obviously.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really cool. But Natasha likes to go down there, so we'll go sometimes. And they were setting when we were leaving last year. They were setting up a wedding, and that looked like it looked really cool.
Juan, I had to be specific because it's hard to miss if you are actually
if you're coming through the right parts of town. It's hard to miss.
Yeah, and I'm weird, man. I don't like when people. I just think you should know your direction. So that's kind of how I talk.
Yeah,
it's a pet peeve.
It's also like I don't know. Omaha people just talk like that.
I hope so.
I mean, I
don't want people to look at me crazy.
Everybody that I know that grew up here just talks like that in terms like when you're figuring out where to go. Although a lot of people I grew up with aren't nearly as familiar with the downtown portions of things.
It's changed so much.
It has, and it's always kind of a crapshoot with the construction, depending on who's doing what at what time.
It's probably not a good time to get into rail car talk. Fudge. Of course, Game Dog. I could say it's green, and you're gonna say it's light green. I mean, I've only worked there for 7 years and get the sentiment about what people say.
Best parking in the metro.
You're right, Game Dog. It's easy. Parking at West Side is easy, especially since the new renovations. It's simple. You're right. I don't even know what I was gonna say. We just figure it out. Just need to figure it out. Are you worried about your Warriors?
I mean, worried is probably too strong of a word.
I just meant to ask you that because we had a little bit of time. Because you want the rebuild, right?
Not really.
Oh, you can't. You can't. You stop.
Listen, I know that there is not a championship left in this. I understand that. Like, I don't have any disillusions. I want the last couple years, however long of Curry's career that I have left, to be enjoyable to watch. That's all I'm looking for at this point. And if they go full rebuild, it's going to be awful. So, like, because you were stupid 3 years ago, and
you think they mismanaged Kuminga?
I think they mismanaged nearly every.
Didn't Curry have to make, or didn't Kerr have to make that work?
So part of that is on Kerr, 100%, but a lot of it is on the hubris of the front office because they literally said this out loud. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna do the Spurs thing where they basically developed a second core while the first core was aging out." And guess what? That's happened, I believe, exactly once in NBA history. And to have the hubris of thinking like, "Oh yeah, we can do that," is when you've got. And I also
tough.
Here's my problem. Is I genuinely think, and of all the people, they should be the last ones to do this. I genuinely think they underrated how unique their opportunity with Steph Curry was. I don't think they
got 4 titles.
I understand that, but they
That's a lot.
No, it is. But they also basically started putting crap around him for the 2022 title is super weird. It was a weird one-off year, one-off title. It counts, but it was a year where the NBA was in like kind of a transition. Like it was a very strange flux year for the NBA. Like, so I don't even like, I know that one counts, but when you're talking about team building, they still weren't doing a good job in 2022.
Oh boy.
Like the problem with the front office for the Warriors is that
you spent a ton of money. You went over the luxury tax. You got 4 titles. And
here's my problem is they actually had a really unique opportunity with the 3 lottery picks over the course of 2 years to give themselves a real shot instead of being like, we can do this for 20 years. It's like, we have to figure out how to do this for the rest of Steph's career.
You finagled your last title. Like you maximized.
What do you mean? You maximized that year.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they have mismanaged.
I'm not going to say no business winning a title, but
no, that's what I mean. It was a very strange one-off, unique title year, and I think the state of the NBA had as much to do with that as managing that roster. But also, they basically have poorly managed this team for the last 6 years. I don't think there's any question about that. And the fact that you had a number 2, a number 7, and a number 14 pick and got literally nothing out of them is unforgivable. Teams that are that good don't have.
You see poor spending in sports quite a bit, and you got 4 titles.
I understand that. You at least have to package those together and try and get something real.
Boy, I don't.
Because here's the dirty little secret about the Warriors run. The people that were in charge when it happened didn't draft a soul. None of those guys got drafted by the guys that were in charge.
Yeah.
So for them to have the thing of, look at this, what we built, you didn't build that. They didn't draft Clay. They wanted to trade Clay, and Jerry West convinced them not to. They didn't draft Steph. They didn't draft Draymond. They didn't draft any of the guys that matter, right? And KD went there because of Steph and Draymond, not because of the front office. Like, that wasn't like, show me what this front office has actually done over the course of Steph Curry's career, and then maybe I'll give him a little easier time. But
you could be the Cowboys. You could be the Mets.
Sure. I could be the Dodgers too.
No, they win titles though.
That's what I'm saying. I could be the Dodgers too. That's my preference.
Boy.
If you've got a generational superstar, you owe it to that person. You owe it to your franchise, and you owe it to your fan base to try and maximize their window as long as they can.
4 rings.
Yeah. Probably should have been 5 or 6. Listen, I'm happy with the 4. What I'm saying now is I just want to enjoy watching the end of his career. That was the whole point of this. Like, they've bungled this so badly. Don't give me a rebuild now. You get to wait for 2 years until Steph is done. I want him to do the Kobe thing. Like, let Kobe end however he wants to end.
Oh.
I want to enjoy watching Curry for the next 2 years.
You know,
go sign LeBron or something. I don't care.
I know we got to get to Sam, but you know what's interesting?
What's that?
Probably need to have that conversation about the coaching pantheon. Because if you hate on me for my affinity for Phil Jackson only coaching good players, I don't know where you think about Kerr.
I don't have any. My only problem with people that gloss Phil Jackson, glaze Phil Jackson, whatever, is when you try and talk about.
That's not my style.
No, that's fine. I'm talking about other people. Is not talking about his effectiveness as a basketball coach. I'm talking when people like go effusive praise over his X's and O's. Like, the X's and O's are fine. That's not what most of being an NBA coach is. Most of being an NBA coach is figuring out how to get good players to get along every day and to play as hard as they can most of the time. And he was very good at that. I'm not taking that away from him. But it's like the people that hate on me for John Calipari. Like, John Calipari's good at what he does. He may not blow you away on a whiteboard, but he's good at what he does. Yeah. Like, that's how I like Phil Jackson is a much better version of that type of archetype where it's like, hey, may not blow you away on the whiteboard. Like, triangle probably doesn't work in most situations, but the other stuff is what matters. The triangle is just like, okay, cool, whatever. Because Michael Jordan can bail you out of it whenever he needs to. Shaq and Kobe can bail you out of it whenever he needs to. It's the idea of getting Michael Jordan to be like, hey, you should pass occasionally. That was the important part. It doesn't matter if it was a triangle or a weave or motion or whatever you want. Like, the method wasn't important. It was the philosophy of being like, hey, Michael, like, you could score 60 points a game and we're still going to lose because we need like 100 to win. And if you never pass the ball, we're never going to get those other 40.
Tough crowd.
That's the point.
Tough crowd.
I'm pro Phil Jackson. I just don't tell me how great the triangle is. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be right back with more Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's time to shift into spring at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2026 Kia Seltos LX as low as $198 a month. Shift into spring for less. Spring on this deal before it's gone. Drive away with more this April. Or lease the 2026 Kia Sportage LX as low as $228 a month. Don't wait. Shift into a fresh deal this spring at Edwards Kia. It pays to make the drive to Edwards Kia.
Yeah, I mean, before coming here, I've obviously heard a lot about it, and on my official, I mean, when Brian was walking me around, he was like, yeah, this place gets bumping, and he talked about the TerraFlex, which was something that everyone's super proud of here. It's just so beautiful, and I think it totally lived up to its expectations. I would say, you know, we wanted 100% blue, but it sits in Nebraska. Volleyball is in Nebraska. It's pretty popular, so I expected a lot of Nebraska fans to be there, but I would say Creighton fans really showed up, and I would say our team had a great fight, and it was just awesome to see that gym bumping like that.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
The 1-0 pitch. This ball turned on and hit a ton to deep right field. You can kiss it goodbye. Case Sanderson. As Grigo sends this one way out to left field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Put it on a postcard. He just hit it to Omaha.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by our friend Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World. Sam, how are we doing this morning?
I'm great, man. It's NFL draft week. I'm happy about that, and some of the sports teams in Nebraska are doing pretty good.
Yeah, you can tell ESPN is not so uniquely connected, man. Just the countdown, the draft blurbs, the stock up or down. I'm like, huh. And it's only Monday morning, man. It's got to be draft week.
It is. And my team, for once, doesn't really, like, they have a pick, but it's not like going to necessarily make or break their franchise, which is interesting. The first time in about 10 years that's been the case. But it's going to be a fun draft. There's some really, really good players in it. And I'll be really curious to see how the first round goes, but really how the quarterbacks shake out, and then who gets Jeremiah Love, who I think is probably the best overall player in the draft, but he plays a position that isn't, the most important position in the draft. So I'm excited to see how it all goes later this week.
It seems like there's like some not contingencies, but like nobody's like super complete in the, not nobody, but a very few complete ready-made guys, right? I mean, Sonny Styles and a couple of others. A lot of other times you're talking about playing for specifics, right? A McLAUGHLin. Yeah. How much would you pay? Like Jeremiah Love is clearly a playmaker. You think they've rationalized how to pay for a playmaker, right? A guy that's a little Bijan, a little Jahmyr Gibbs, or Bain, who may not be allegedly. I think he's really, really good. Complete as a pass rusher, but a good player. A Caleb Downs. You don't even know really what he runs, but he's pretty good, right? Like
pretty good.
Arvell Reese, where it's like, okay, I can envision the feeling. What's the like? It just seems like there's a lot of buts with this draft, but there's a ton of draftable linemen. Like it could be fairly deep.
So I would say that you're absolutely right that it could be deep. This to me is one of the first drafts where upside is almost like a reality in half of the first round, where we don't have enough data on some of the guys, and Bain is an exception. We actually have a lot of data on him, but we don't necessarily have enough data on some of these Ohio State guys to know exactly what they're going to be. Carnell Tate could be the first receiver taken, and even if I think he's a really good player, he's like the sixth best receiver that Ohio State's had in the last 7 years. And so it's an interesting conversation there, because you don't know exactly how good he can be because he's playing with the number 1 pick in next year's draft. So it's one of those moments where you're seeing some of the talent shake out in a really interesting way. It's weird to see Alabama really not dominating the first round. They're not going to dominate the first round. Ohio State's probably going to do that, which tells you something about how they fell short last season, but also how they won the national title with 2 losses a year before. You brought up Bijan Robinson, and that to me is the really good comp for Love. And here's the thing: the Falcons haven't won anything with Robinson. They haven't anything. That tells you the value of that position isn't what it is. Isn't the most important position on the field. Because if it was, then the Falcons would have been in the playoffs one of these couple of years that Robinson was there. Because I put Robinson at the top 3 or 4 backs in the league, and it doesn't win you. It doesn't win you anything. So that's go ahead.
Jahmyr Gibbs, who's detached 15 to 20% of the time, right? But Detroit fans would be like, yeah, we love watching him, but what has it gotten us? It's kind of I don't know, man. I get what you're saying about not having won anything, but there are lots of teams in the league that don't win, but the teams are clearly better with said player.
Oh, no question. I don't know. The Falcons would have the first pick, maybe, or the second pick without Robinson. But so Love is a player that I love watching, and I think it'll be really interesting to see who gets him. If it's the Commanders, they were the oldest team in the NFL last year. Now they're going to get probably really young, and it's going to take them a couple of years and to get back to where they were in the NFC title game a couple of years ago. I will be really intrigued. Obviously, the Giants have now moved up. They want to do something. Do the Giants want to do something now at 5 that they wouldn't have been able to do before they had the 10th pick? I don't know. Like, I think those are good questions. It's going to be really, really interesting. I do think Caleb Downs is one of the more ready-made players coming into the draft.
Apparently, that's all the Ohio State guys under Patricia.
Yeah, I mean, Reese is going to go really high, but I don't know if anybody knows exactly what he's going to be. But Caleb Downs, I thought, showed it under 3 different defensive coordinators, which is really impressive. At Alabama, and then his first year at Ohio State and his second year at Ohio State. So I think he's shown that. Here's a really interesting thought. Mekhi Lemon's going to go in the first half of the first round. And if that's true, if he's that good, and he had a great game against Iowa and a couple other teams, but if that's true and he's that good, then what does that make Sear Wright, who took him away when they were here in Lincoln? Man, that makes me feel like Sear Wright should be drafted, and I certainly hope he is. I think he's probably proven it. He probably might be the 3rd guy drafted. I think Deshaun Singleton has put his name in there well enough that I think he's going to get picked, and then you certainly would think that if anybody turns on the tape and they watch the Nebraska USC game, where the guy that's a first-round pick is taken away, you would certainly think that Wright would have an opportunity. Mekhi Lemon in the top half of the first round surprises me. I think he's a fun player to watch. I don't think he's one of the. So that tells you something about the receivers in this draft, that maybe there isn't that guy that maybe there has been in previous years. Omar Cooper might go in the first round from Indiana. And in my opinion, at the end of the season, Cooper was the 3rd best receiver on that team. Although I people don't think as highly of Elijah Surratt as I do. So we'll see. It's going to be a fascinating first round because I don't know that anybody really knows where everybody's going to go. And so it's going to be one of those deals where people are going to be like, who's this guy? And then you're going to see guys in the second and third round that everybody kind of knows. And then all of a sudden those guys come off the board. Like Ty Simpson's probably not going to be a first round pick. He might be. And then all of a sudden you're going to see names that you've seen for 3 years and they're going to come off the board because some of these other guys have more upside and they'll go in the first one. Like Jacob Rodriguez probably isn't going to be a first rounder, but he's a first round production player, if that makes sense.
Right. It's fascinating. You mentioned guys like Surratt, and I think, like Keenan Allen. I watched him warm up that debacle in Bloomington, because, I was terrified to be in that press box, as you know.
Yeah. Step.
That thing. Well, the steps are they're like 7 inches wide, but they're like 6 feet long. So
I know.
I was terrified. So I think I'll just hang out down here on the field. But anyway, I saw that. Like, I'm watching these guys warm up and guys like Surratt, and I just think the longer I do this, one of the things that we undersell dramatically when we're trying to project in the NFL is your ability to repeat something over and over again, whether it's just, going to work or you're working on your craft or just handling the rigor. Where it's like that's probably the part I would like to watch, guys. If I was going to try to have some sort of predictive indicator, like, can you repeat the same thing over and over and over again, like you have to do in the NFL?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's one of the things that Indiana was really good at. And I think some of it is you have to credit the players. I know Cignetti gets a lot of the credit, but the players were the ones doing the stuff. Is that team executed, especially on third down, they executed third down routes as well as in the last 2 seasons, as well as any team I've seen in a while, both the quarterbacks and the receivers. So, the guy that was the guy 2 years ago, and then Mendoza and all those receivers, they did a great job of executing third down plays, whether that was a back shoulder fade or that was a little slant, or it was, a route that started in and then had an outcut to it. There's so many different things that they did really well. And you do have to credit, you credit their position coaches, and then you credit them. And I think Cignetti gets almost all the credit for it, and I get it. I mean, he is running the team. But they did a great job the last 2 years of executing. I'll be curious to see if that carries over. I know that they've got some football players on that team, and they got some guys in the transfer portal. But I don't know, for example, if Nick Marsh from Michigan State, who's very talented, is going to be the kind of worker that those Indiana receivers were last year. I just don't know. Marsh may be more talented than Omar Cooper, to be frank. But is he going to bring that level of professionalism to the craft? That's where Indiana's going to have to navigate that conversation, because when you rely on transfers, and Indiana's still doing it, you're rolling the dice a little bit on what you're going to get. You have to perfect the intangible portion of the recruiting process with portal guys. Nebraska signed 4 portal guys in basketball, and one of the things I wrote about today is, who can Bowden Capty, regardless of what his skill set is, regardless of what it is, can he come in and be a leader in the front court? And by leader, I mean like the rink-masked Derek Walker kind of leader. Can he be that? Because he's going to have to be, unless they expect Leo Curtis to be that person, and maybe he will. But the thing that they're going to miss in some ways most about rink mass, and it was one of the largest questions I had about Berke Buchtengill if he had stayed, is the leadership component. So Berke's going to Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt will have a very good team, but Berke's not going to have Rink Mass next to him to keep him in check when Berke gets, out of pocket. So is Buchtengill going to do that to him? Is he going to keep himself in check? He's going to have to, unless, Bangkok Dat, who's going to join their team, and Lincoln Southeast grad who went to Colorado, unless he's the guy that's going to do that. And it was going to be an open question for Buchtengill this year. Is like, who is going to be the person who keeps him locked in, because he could get very easily off track, and Mass was the guy that was doing that. And that's the other thing, is like, who's going to be the boss of the front court at Nebraska and it's probably going to have to be Bowden Kapke. So regardless of whether he's a great shooter or not, people will say, well, he's going to shoot 37% from three, then he's worth it. He's also got to be a leader, and Mast was one of the best leaders that Nebraska's had in a long time. And I think it's different to lead a front court than lead a backcourt. Sam Hoiberg was kind of the leader of the backcourt. Cale Jacobson will be the leader of the backcourt this year, but Cale Jacobson isn't going to necessarily be able to tell a 7-footer, how to take an elbow. You need a forward to be able to do that. And Kapke's going to be counted upon to be a leader in the front court. We'll see if he can do it.
Sam, as you kind of talk about Nebraska's transfer portal class there, obviously Bowden Kapke is a big one, Trevon Lenhart as well. Like, how do you think they've done in terms of replacing not just Rink Mast and Sam Hoiberg and Berke Buchtengel, but just sort of reconfiguring the team on the fly?
Well, I don't think there's a Price Sanford or a Bryce Williams in the bunch, but so long as Price Sanford is still here, there doesn't have to be. And so you can supplement Sanford and Traeger from a skill set perspective, right? Like Price Sanford is the straw that stirs the drink. And so you didn't need Sam Worm to come in and be that guy. He can be a complementary part. Bowden Kapke can be a complementary part. Trevon Lenhart, who is actually kind of a true point guard, he can be a guy that, well, we're just going to have to see, because they didn't have that last year per se, and now it appears they will have it again. And how's that gonna work? Is it gonna, how is he gonna play, and what's his job gonna be? And is he gonna be able to say, okay, there's 4 or 5 shooters on the floor, it doesn't matter if I get my shot. I have to accept that I'm only gonna shoot it sometimes, and I'm probably not gonna be even the second scoring option on the floor at any given moment. Maybe not even the third. And if that's true, then he's gonna have to process through how to handle that. But I think their backcourt's gonna be fine. Their guards and their wings are going to be okay. I think they need to go get one more, and they probably will. I think the question becomes, okay, in the front court, Kapke's going to be asked to be the leader. Kapke and Leo Curtis and Caden Betts. So maybe Caden Betts' job is to come in and be a character culture guy that can keep everybody in line. Again, Josiah Alec was a leader 3 or 4 years ago. Like, if there was a problem, Alec would step forward and he would be the voice of the team. Your front court needs that. And if Kapke is that guy, then great. But I think that's the piece that you look at as the intangible portion. I think Kapke's about as skilled as Mast was.
As you kind of go through you've talked a lot about the front court leadership versus back court leadership. I don't know that I've heard somebody make such a distinct kind of separation between those two. Like you mentioned kind of the forwards and taking an elbow, things like that.
Front court versus back court?
Yeah. Why do you think that? Why is that so important to you in the construction of this team in particular?
I think that, for example, in football, quarterbacks can say a whole bunch, but I don't know that a quarterback can go to a defensive lineman. Quarterback can probably run the whole offense and can talk a lot to the offensive lineman or whatever, but I don't know that a quarterback can go to the defensive lineman and say, you've got to do this. You have to have a defensive player on your team who has the ability to make that happen. An Ed Reed or Ray Lewis, or, because I'm a Bears fan, Mike Singletary, Lance Briggs. You have to have people on your team who have that sort of emotional energy, and they're on the defensive side of the ball. I think in basketball, it's just so, when a guy is 6'10" and 250 pounds, I think it's just a unique experience, right? Like a guard can go do that. Maybe Magic Johnson could relate to literally everyone on the floor. LeBron can relate probably to everybody on the floor because he's 6'8" and he's 260. And so like he's physical, but he's also super talented. Michael Jordan could do that. I just don't know that a lot of teams have players who are so overwhelmingly incredible that they can lead every single component of that team. I think it's helpful to have Fred's best teams have had leaders in the front court. Tim Miles' best teams had leaders in the front court. People never gave Leslie Smith the credit that he deserved back in the year when they made the NCAA tournament.
Wow.
And remember, why did Tim Miles' team go south? It was because Copeland got hurt. And if Isaac Copeland doesn't get hurt, I don't know that Tim Miles gets fired. I think they would have been a bubble team and they might have made the NCAA tournament. but when Isaac Copeland gets hurt in whatever year it was, 2018 or whatever it was, 2019 against Ohio State, I remember I was on the floor about 10 feet away when it happened, and there were literally people like, well, there goes the season. that was it. And so like you have to have front court players who, they're just men. And again, I think you can look at Kapke's play, and it looks pretty good to me. It was just the reason I thought of it, Ravi, was because of Buchtenschel, actually. That like he is super talented. He's really gifted. I think he really benefited from having Mass there to channel that fire in the right direction. If you have a situation where Burke is going to be the leader in your front court, you're going to get a lot of fire, but he's got to stay locked in too. So when he goes to Vanderbilt, he may well average 10 and 6, but is he going to be locked in the way that he was all the time? Because he had a guy like Rink Mass keeping him accountable and sort of leading that room. When Fred addressed the team the final time after they lost to Iowa, and he addressed them, I'm sure, after that, but in the locker room, they show that video. Obviously, what he said, the words he didn't say to his son were very powerful. There's a pause in there. It's like 10 seconds long, which tells you everything he thought of his son, which was great. But he says, Rink, I've never worked with a guy like you before. And like you're the toughest dude and all this other stuff. And it just spoke to how Rink Mass was able to lead that team, like he was able to marshal the group, so to speak. And I think Price and Cale will probably be the guys that marshal that backcourt. I think that'll be a little bit of a jump for Sanford. Like he's going to have to be a leader in a way that maybe he wasn't last year. But Cale Jacobson will take the mantle and be the coach like Sam Hoiberg was. So I just think that last year's Nebraska basketball team was maybe the best intangible athletic team at Nebraska in some time. They were not overwhelmingly the most talented team on the floor a lot of the time. What they were was really together, really intangibly strong, and like connected in a way that's rare. And so if you're to recreate that, you have to have incredible leadership. And, like Sam Hoiberg's going to come back in 20 years and talk about leadership. I don't know that he's going to talk about, the beautiful finger roll that he had, but he's going to talk about the culture of that team. If that's what Fred wants to create, then they have to always get leaders. They have to get great leaders who have intangibles that outpace their skill set.
Sam, let me get to, because it's kind of interesting how this, as I transition to baseball real quick, they play a lot in some of the ways that you're describing, right? Like they just kind of stay on the gas. You don't really see it until you feel it, right? It was a little sleepy at 7-0, but you can't tell that they never really are going away until they're right there, right? Like how much of that do you think is similar to what we're talking about with how this baseball team plays, where they just seemingly are never out of it?
Never out of it. And this team is a little bit different. And I texted our beat writer, Evan Bland, last weekend, actually, when they were down early at Oregon and they lost, but they came all the way back. And I'm like, this team's different. There have been previous Nebraska teams, even under Bolt, who when they get down 5-0, they're going to lose. They're going to lose 8-4. It's kind of over. They might get a couple of runs here or there, but they're not going to climb the mountain all the way back. This team is different. They scratch and claw. So when they get behind against Creighton, they come back. They were down to their last outs against Maine twice. Both times they made comebacks and they won late inning games over Maine. Now Maine isn't any good, but once you start doing that multiple times, you actually believe you can do it every time.
Wow.
And so like you start to look around and go, we've done this before. We're going to do it again, and we're not gonna fall short. One thing that I think is unfortunate, for example, about Nebraska football season, is they come back against Michigan State, they come back against Maryland, but in the games where they lost, they didn't have a chance really in the fourth quarter to make that comeback. So The Minnesota game was lost by the time they get to the fourth quarter. The Penn State and Iowa games were lost. USC was not, and that was an extenuating circumstance where you're trying to true freshman quarterback is in the hardest moment of his career and all that. But there were too many circumstances where they did not give themselves a chance. Well, Nebraska baseball consistently gives itself a chance going into the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, and now they have a culture of belief, and so they're able to get it done. And they're older, so they're able to make some things happen and play in a certain way. They've figured out, Sean Unger isn't going to be like the Big Ten Pitcher of the Year. He might be Nebraska's MVP because the ability to anchor that side of it was crucial because they were leaking a lot early in the season, and they haven't quite figured out the pitching because other teams have hit them pretty good. But Unger has changed that conversation to where now he's not Spencer Schwellenbach, but there's a culture of belief around him. And when he goes out there, it's like slam the door. And that's the piece that I think is going to carry them through the rest of this season. They play 15 more regular season games. I think they need to get to 40 to feel good about hosting a regional. I think they might get to 42 or 43. And if they do that, they're going to have a regional at Haymarket, and it's going to be an experience that's very, very powerful for the fan base. This is a great baseball state, and it always has been. And when Nebraska's really good, people notice what happens. And the last couple days out at the Haymarket, I think, are proof of how good of a baseball state this is.
Sam, last one for me. Obviously, we were pointing to this stretch of Oregon and USC as kind of the litmus test for Nebraska baseball and whether or not they could host a regional and to kind of get a gauge on where they were nationally. Went 4-2, obviously sweeping USC in a manner in which I didn't really expect. And then the only 2 losses coming by 1 run to Oregon. Has that changed how you felt about Nebraska baseball at all? Validated what you thought about Nebraska baseball at all?
Yeah, I think now you can see this as a regional team. I thought they had to win one of those series, and I think sweeping USC makes everybody look around and go, okay, this is a regional team. This is a regional hosting team is what I mean. And this is a team that can get a top 16 seed. So I think that changed. I think they had to prove it against a team of USC's caliber. They've done that. I think they have a great opportunity to win 40 and maybe, like I said, get to 42 or 43. And then I think they have a chance of being the number 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament. And that's, they're in really, really good shape. If the best they did was the 16 overall seed, and they had to, they got a regional at the 16th seed. There's no number 1 seed they'd rather play more than the team that they know inside and out, which is UCLA. I mean, if you're going to play a number 1 seed and you're going to have to go to their park, you may as well go to a team that you know. And UCLA is a team they know. They're not intimidated by UCLA. They're not. And UCLA is very good. They win a lot of games by very close scores. UCLA does not blow everybody out that they play. But if that's a team that you have to go beat in a super regional, that's the team you want to go beat. Or you want to go beat Georgia Tech, which hasn't really been here this way. So, you want to go play teams
they're pretty
good. Yes, they are good. But you want to go play teams that aren't as comfortable as, that don't see the super regionals as their domain. It's going to be hard to beat some of it's going to be hard to beat Florida or whomever it is. It won't be LSU. LSU's not going to make the NCAA tournament. I don't think. They've been swept now. Maybe Nebraska will go to Texas A&M, which everybody thought, their coach was going to get run out of town, and look what's happened there. I mean, they're a heck of a team this season. They just swept LSU and swept them handily in Baton Rouge, if I'm not mistaken. So, it's a fun season. I think Nebraska has a legitimate chance of hosting a regional. And if you can host a regional, you can make a CWS. You just have to play your very best baseball over 2 weeks in May.
That's Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it,
guys. Bye.
That's Sam McKEWON, Omaha World Herald. Got him out at 8:30 on the dot. Look at that. Look at the clock right there.
That leadership thing is interesting.
Yeah, the basketball part, I understand. I think, first of all, I think football and basketball are very different.
I do too.
I think they're very, very different. I think like, people are in chat and being like, oh, I want to get to this after the break here because I think there's a lot to digest about who can lead what group. But I do think
I wouldn't fall for that.
I think basketball and football are dramatically different.
I do agree with that.
Let's take a quick break here, though. We will get into a little bit of leadership talk coming up next because I've never heard someone describe a basketball team's leadership the way Sam just did. I'm not saying he's wrong. Just that's something that I want to process through because that's an interesting way that he put that, especially in comparison with Buke and Joe. So that's CB. I'm Ravi, Lulla. We will be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming next.
It's time to shift into spring at Edwards Hyundai. Lease the 2026 Hyundai Kona SE all-wheel drive starting at just $179 a month. Shift into spring for less. Spring on this deal before it's gone. Drive away with more this April or save up to $7,000 off MSRP on the 2026 Hyundai Palisade XRT Pro. Don't wait. Shift into a fresh deal this spring at Edwards Hyundai.
Man, there's a lot of things, right? I thought Yasa set the tone for us on the mound. I thought our defense played awesome. The double plays that we're turning are not easy, and we're making them look pretty easy. Yas trusted his defense, and this the approach at the plate. I think we kind of saw a group of guys that were just sold out. We talk about being 1 through 9. It was certainly that today. We knew we were going to get a lot of pitches around the zone to hit. Needed to be ready to swing, and man, it was some two-strike hitting there early in the first inning to get them on, get them over, get them in. The slug showed up. There's a lot of really good swings and a lot of different types of pitches from a lot of different guys. So complete effort today.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Have you called our guy Nick yet over at Next Gen to take care of your quad?
No, that's just being old. More water, more stretching. Although
a little more BPC
Gotta keep
157
watering the
maybe.
bamboo.
I don't know.
So I'm out. I dropped the. I haven't taken the 157 in 3 weeks.
That's what happened to your quad, man. Come on.
Not 3, 2. I dropped.
You dropped the vial.
It hit just perfectly.
Yeah, like right
to
on the corner. Yeah, I've done that with an insulin bottle before, and I was pissed.
And I was like, I just got this. I don't want to be that dude. But I have to ask this week.
Now you need to, because the Quadzilla's killing you.
It's the one thing that I haven't taken.
Scott was singing your praises from the said you gunned down a guy.
Yeah.
Said you stole some bases.
Look,
you know, he called you a 5-tool player.
We didn't win, so I don't talk much about what. I think the only thing I said about myself is
2 walks is what you said.
I
and
walked twice,
the quad.
and you know, We gave up a 10-run inning.
Is 5-tool the complete?
We didn't win, Shane.
Yes, Shane. Yes.
I think they scored 10 in the 5th. It was 1-0. I think we ended up losing like 10-1.
Yeah.
And
pitchers just couldn't get it together.
No, we're falling apart.
What are the pitching staffs like for that? Like, how many guys do you have on your team that pitch?
So there's an art form to it. It's like when I first started playing flag and other things. Like, there's definitely an art to it, where like guys that throw, they know their own bodies, so they don't overdo it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, if they're just trying to get the ball over, then they just get the ball over. And as a hitter, you have to really, really stay in the moment, because the savvy guys know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's like it's definitely a learning. It's not a thing where like younger guys just go out there and out athlete guys, because that's not. It's got to be efficient.
Yeah,
you have to be super efficient. So that's gonna be part of the curve. Scott said he's never. I was just
you were texting him.
Yeah, well, and I feel dumb the first hour. I was like, God, this guy. I can't believe he gets in his stance. He's an every inning catcher. He's pretty good. This, that, and he's I've never caught. I was like, huh? I thought he was joking with me.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, like, dude's pretty good.
That's funny.
That dude's pretty good.
That's I wanted to give you a little kudos though, because he was saying you had a nice game. He also said that he's the one that you gunned down. So
I wasn't gonna say that. I was not.
He brought it up, so I felt like it was fair game.
I mean, he smoked one right down the line. I think what he didn't realize, the grass
slowed it down.
So I got to it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And it's like I can hit and I can throw. That's about it.
Well, apparently he said you were running down fly balls and stuff too. I mean,
I got a good read on
it. That's at least 3 of the tools.
I got a good read on it.
You hitting for power or average?
I didn't get enough swings at it. I swung at a ball yesterday to keep from walking.
Yeah.
And I walked anyway.
Guys do that in softball all the time.
I swung a bat twice yesterday in 3 at-bats.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
That's fine.
Just take your base.
I know, exactly. I agree.
That's how you pulled the quad. Just take your base.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Like, you have to just be efficient.
Yeah.
And the guys are funny in the dugout. They're like, we see a lot of tweaks early, like in April. Just wait till it gets hot out. And I was like, oh God, I am old.
I am old.
The future is now, old man.
So, I
am old.
And I will turn around and hit the other way going forward now. But one of the guys is a natural righty, golfs right-handed. He said he learned to hit left-handed in this league because he wasn't seeing balls well. And I was like, interesting. Like, he looks left-handed.
Yeah, he looks like a natural lefty.
But he does everything right-handed. And he was explaining, it's just funny.
That's wild.
Yeah, and he's super savvy. He's like, he wouldn't let me go back out in the field. He's like, nah, like, we don't need this to linger. We got to play the long game. I was like, oh God, I'm being babied. Nah, but it's a good group. It's a really I like it. Scott's got a pretty good natured team too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell there's there's a lot of softball guys.
Sure.
So they kind of have that bravado.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I talked to an ump yesterday. Rico, what do you think? He said a number. I said, hey, so how many games do you guys get in? On average. This is decent. Yeah, it's decent money.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know if it's cash or not, but
do you guys have,
if it's cash, it was even better.
Do you guys have like a time limit?
Yeah, it's 2:15.
Oof. So you're trying to get 9 in 2:15? 7. Okay. Yeah.
2:15's a long time.
Yeah.
This particular umpire said he'll get, including fall ball, 350 to 400 games in.
Oh.
That's
a lot.
Does that seem like a lot?
Yeah.
350 to 400.
Yeah.
So that's.
He said
from win to win.
So through fall ball.
So basically April through October.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how many months is that? That's 6 months.
I mean,
6
isn't
full
that-
months.
Is that seems like a lot? But how about the money?
Well, you assume he's got like this is all weekends too, right? So we're
he
talking.
said, well, I'm sure some weeknights, but he said the problem is he said we have guys that can umpire.
Yeah.
He said everybody likes to play at the same times.
So if we just do 6 months, 30 days, it's 180. Like,
so he's averaging
and then
like 2 a day, basically.
yeah, but then you were saying mostly weekends and some weekdays. Like that's
Yeah, he's probably doing 3, 4. Like on weekends, he's probably out there.
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah.
Like he's probably doing like 8 on a weekend.
And what are those
But
guys?
that's just
that's
crazy.
What are they getting a game?
I don't know. So I know softball, it's like 30 basically, 30 a game, but longer for baseball. Maybe it's a little more because our softball is.
He does do youth. You know the age that he said is the worst.
What's that?
What would you guess that treats him the worst?
I would guess like 12.
Treats him the worst.
Yeah.
I'd say like preteen.
He said Little League before they realize that they're going to play either single A or majors the rest of their life. I was detecting a note of sarcasm.
Yeah, I would have guessed like 12 because every kid that like has a growth spurt at 12 thinks he's going to the bigs, and like the parents also feel that way. I have to imagine it's pretty rough.
Husker
Jason,
Piece is
9:30. We have Ben McLAUGHLin coming up. 9:30.
Oh, Husker P says 50 is average. So if he does 400, that's what is that? 20 grand a year?
50 is average. God, that's.
I'd do that.
Me too.
That's
I'd be terrible at it.
lot of work for. I mean, that's a lot of work.
Well, you'd have to be playing the long game because if you come home and you've only made 200. Well, I say only, not like I'm remotely rich, but $200.
That's a long day for. I mean, that's a long day for a couple $100.
Yeah.
Because it's. I mean, especially when it gets hot out.
Yeah, but then you multiply times 350, and you're like, I'd probably do that.
So you have 50. Let's say you said 350 to 400. Yeah, I mean,
That's your disposable income right there.
I get that. If you're doing it in addition to a day job, that seems like really long hours. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you've
do
got a regular 8 to 5, and then
Scott agrees. He said they make good money, but is it?
If
worth
I didn't
it?
have the kids, I'd do it.
I do imagine adults are. I mean, I don't know. We've seen some people at softball like get after.
That's a good point, Chuck. You said one weekend you can buy a new club. You can buy a new club.
Yeah, you're not gonna have any time to use them though.
I saw a guy this weekend who does some financial work for an old buddy, guy who used to play at Nebraska, Kenny Kalen.
Mhm.
And Kenny's picking up golf. He used to play fullback at Nebraska. I mean, super funny dude. And now I was looking to spend some money on clubs. I didn't realize those jokers were so expensive. Like good golf clubs.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know guys will pay, I think like $400 or $500 on a driver, just the driver. Like it's aggressive.
Interesting.
I don't even know that's that much anymore. That was a few years
my
ago.
putter was a gift. Otherwise, it would have stayed in the. It stayed
Yeah,
in the
putter's
store.
good expensive too. Listen, I enjoy golfing from time to time. I don't like enough to drop that kind of money on it.
Is tennis expensive?
Yeah.
So there's a guy that was playing whose kids are in hockey, get the club hockey.
Oh, hockey's
and baseball.
I hope he's got a good job, man. That's rough.
He said one's going to have to go after this year.
Yeah, that's crazy. Those are probably two of the most. Although I will say,
$750 for a good driver. That is insane.
Oh yeah,
Shane, are you buying the Scheffler Rory hype or rivalry potentially?
Rivalry, yeah.
Yeah, John. Like I said, that was a few years ago. That it was like $400 or $500 that I had some friends spending. $750 doesn't surprise me at all. Like that's crazy. Yeah. So like,
I'm sorry. Back to your leadership thing. You let Scott derail me.
A good tennis racket will cost you about $300, but you don't have to have like a whole club. Like you need like one or two.
Yeah.
I usually buy two in case a string breaks. But like,
are there people around town that restring those?
Yeah. I've got a guy that I like a lot. He's good at what he does. He's like,
does he do gloves too? Because I know that guy. A guy.
Not gloves. I would do no, like baseball gloves.
Mm-hmm.
No. It's a very different apparatus that they use. They have like a little machine and it's crazy. Yeah. But there's a guy in town that strings for, or used to at least, like string for like the U.S. Open, like for the guys in New York. Like he's pretty good.
Hey Shane, our guys at Indian Creek, Jim was telling me they got a new simulator.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he invited. I think that was.
Were you on that group? It was. I know he's talking to me and Kenny.
So I didn't get that one. I got one from Sasha that he was asking some people around here.
Oh, I'll go swing that thing.
Yeah, simulator feels more my vibe because like I don't know. Like after about 12 holes, I'm usually like, oh, I'm good.
One thing I figured out golfing is this is gonna sound super wimpy for a guy that takes hits. It's tough on your hands.
No, it is. It's especially if you don't hit clean at all, like if you miss at all, it's really hard on your hands and wrists.
I'm like, fudge.
Yeah. So the thing that I need more people around me that I go golf with to have this attitude about golf is
that just want to have fun.
Not just necessarily have fun. Like I understand being competitive, but like
it's not very fun. It's hard to be good.
So that's the thing though, is if you haven't put the time in to be good, then don't be surprised when you're not.
D-Roy says 750 for a driver is insane. It seems insane.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people like, hey, they get like, I'm sure you've met those people that get super frustrated every time they shank a ball. And it's like, you golf 4 times a year. Like that's who you are. The good shots are the accidents. Don't get mad at the bad shots, right? Like you haven't put the work in to be good. You kind of have to accept that.
I don't know. I told you, like I watch golf and I watch hockey, and those are the only 2 sports I think simultaneously I'm jealous and admire at the same time.
Oh, it's incredible. Like no, like it's incredible. I don't like golfing with people that like I know I'm not good, right? Like I'll hit a few good shots around, like I'm happy about it, cool, whatever. But I also know like I'm not going to the range. I'm not, I'll golf 6 to 8 times a year. Like I'm not putting in the work to be frustrated when I'm bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I'm bad at tennis, I get frustrated because I put in the work, like I play a lot. So, but like I don't like playing with people that get frustrated when it's like, this is the first time you're golfing all year. Like you're not, what are you doing? Like, why are you mad about this?
Kobe, I must not be. Nope, not very athletic, Kobe. Like what?
Okay. I will say hockey though, like, is astounding to me.
It's fascinating.
There are 2 things. I'll let you guess. It's random. It's an Olympic sport. I'll give you the clue. There are 2 sports where I don't even really fathom how they play it because I don't even really understand how you can move that way and do anything else.
Okay, so hockey's one.
Hockey is one of them. If you get this, I will wipe out your Cole Payton bet.
Racquetball.
Nope. Water polo. I don't understand how you tread water for that long and also have people like climbing on you and throwing the ball and all that. Like, I don't get it at all. Treading water by itself is hard. Like it's exhausting.
Was Cole Payton 20?
Yeah.
Was it 20 to 10? You had to be giving me something because as lofty as I was.
You just were
adamant.
You were adamant about it. I was like, all right. Because
come on, second round.
I gave you the choice, second quarterback or second round. That was the concession. And you said second round.
So that's the only reason I'm cheering for somebody to trade into the first round and take Ty
for Ty Simpson.
That's the only. I'll give myself a chance.
Somebody will. I think there's a chance there. I think somebody will trade up to get the extra year of control. I think that that wouldn't surprise me. I think somebody might trade back in to get the extra year of control on Ty Simpson.
So if AJ Brown is in fact really going to go to New England, which all signs point to yes, especially how they're trying to do their wide receiver room right now in Philadelphia, which I talked about a couple weeks ago. But what are the odds? You talk about control and move. Would McCarthy really move? Why wouldn't you try to move McCarthy? Because you could probably get a conditional, I don't know, 5th, 6th.
Do you want? I mean, but for a guy,
I would do that. I would do that and take a shot on rehab and JJ. I get the career.
No,
what is he? What is he? 57.6%?
If you're
Minnesota,
the other team, you would do it.
Yeah, but
but if you're Minnesota and you invest,
how much of Kyler do you think they have to see?
Yeah,
I get it. You're always going to worry about Kyler's health.
I think it's too early. Like they didn't even get a full season of JJ to pull the plug, unless it's so bad behind the scenes. that you're like, this is never going to work. Like, unless it's ironically, also with Kyler Murray, unless it's the Josh Rosen thing where you're like, this ain't it. And they pull the plug after a year to draft Kyler, ironically enough. Unless it's like that, I don't know how you can pull the plug on a guy that you spent a top 10 overall draft pick on when you've barely seen him play.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I'd be pretty surprised if Minnesota moved off of him. For especially what you can get at this point. You're selling low. Like I get that there is some value in 5th and 6th round picks, especially in a draft that's pretty deep on linemen.
I guess it would probably ultimately depend on how McCarthy is in your locker room.
Sure.
Like, how is he in Minnesota?
How is he in the quarterback room? How is he when he's not the guy? How is he? Yeah. Like, I think that if he's a problem, sure. Or if he's a guy that you're like, he's not going to be a good backup. Like, sure, move off of him. But if I can't get, if all I get,
I'm probably nuts, but
I agree.
I think he's better than
it'd be hard.
He's got to be able to start for somebody.
It'd be hard to be. I don't know if he could start this year for somebody, but it'd be hard to be worse.
Work with KOC.
I mean, if you can't work with KOC, your options are basically Shanahan. As far as like guys that we really appreciate, Shanahan, McVay, maybe. Shoot, I don't like. Maybe you give like the Liam Cohen thing a chance as a backup in Tampa, but I don't think he starts anywhere next year.
I mean, the longer he stays in Minnesota, the more apt you are to be right. He's probably not going to win a job just in fall camp.
Right. But honestly, I think there's a chance that he improves his stock just by staying and sitting for a year and people being like, you know how teams plant stories about like, oh man, JJ he's really pushing Kyler in practice. Oh man, he's getting our defense great looks. Then you see him for a half when Kyler gets banged up or something. You're like, oh, maybe is JJ starting to figure some stuff? Because that's the reputation of KOC, right? Like the reputation of KOC is good enough that I think JJ could barely play this year and actually improve his stock. That's DB. I'm Ravi. We'll be right back with Bob Nightingale to get to some Major League Baseball here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's time to shift into spring at Edwards Chevrolet. Lease the 2026 Chevy Trax LT for just $319 a month, $0 down with your first payment due at signing, or save $2,500 off MSRP. Spring on these deals before they're gone. Drive away with more this April. Or lease the 2026 Chevy Silverado RST for just $579 a month, $0 down with your first payment due at signing, or save $9,000 off MSRP. Get to Edwards Chevrolet today. Together, let's drive.
I thought, it was good. We mixed up a lot of players. Our level was really high for 3 sets, and I think the floor defense on both sides of the net was pretty high level for a spring match, which was made it really fun and I think exciting for fans. But overall, it was good. We definitely did some things better than last weekend, but also did some things worse than last weekend. But that's pretty typical for right now and when you're making a lot of changes. I think it's great. We played in a lot of small gyms in the non-conference and on the road, and I coached at a conference that has a lot of small gyms, so I think whenever you can pack it, you want it to feel packed more than scarce. So again, it's great for spring to get that experience when you play in front of a crowd that's into it. It just makes it feel game-like, and that is something we can look back on in the fall.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
High fly ball, deep right field. There is the 2-0 lead. I don't know. For Philadelphia.
1 fly ball, deep left center field. On the run, Raphael is going to have room. No, it's gone.
Oh my!
Murakami unloads. This one is long gone.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. We are joined now by Bob Nightingale of USA Today to talk a little baseball. Bob, how are we doing this morning?
Yeah, doing great. How about you guys?
Oh, I mean, well, so Ravi's a Red Sox fan and I'm a Dodgers fan, so that'll give you some semblance of kind of how it's going.
So he's doing good, and I'm depressed again.
Are you surprised though, Bob? And listen, the Yankees have been streaky. I think they're up to 3 in a row. Pitching has been better early than I thought. Bats are. Imagine they'll come around, right? It's still April. Should somebody be better in the East at this particular stage, or is this kind of just April baseball?
I think it's April baseball. I mean, you saw the Blue Jays. They've been struggling too. They've had a bunch of injuries as well. They should be better. So should Boston and Baltimore for that matter. Tampa Bay's playing a little above their head. I think the Yankees are the team to beat in that division. Just their pitching's been very good. And then they're going to get back. Their 2 co-aces are Garrett Cole obviously is their ace, and then Carlos Rodon will help them out. So it should make it even better. Ben Rice looks like an all-star. At some point Jazz Chisholm has got to start hitting. So no, I think they're the team to beat.
So it's interesting because Boone says that Cole probably needs multiple more, rehab starts. What's a realistic expectation for you for Cole?
Well, I think he comes back, like at the end of May, right before Memorial Day, or between Memorial Day and the end of the month. And then I think he'll be solid, but I think he'll be, should be good to go or be back to being that same dominant guy in September, if not October. So I think they'll be very cautious. I mean, got too much money invested in him. So where he only goes, 5 innings, sometimes, 6 innings maximum for most of the regular season, and then let him go all out, come October.
So Bob, I got to ask about the NL Central here because it's a little upside down. I'm a big run differential guy, and I don't think I've ever seen the top 2 teams in a division be negative and the bottom 3 teams in the division be like pretty aggressively positive. Like, I get every team's over 500, so that's part of what's going on here. But like, which of those teams do you buy? Which of those do you expect to regress towards the mean, either of their talent or what their run differential would expect from their record?
I would expect Pittsburgh to be more of a 500 type team. Uh, St. Louis below 500. I think that's the one team playing way over their heads. I mean, they're in a full rebuild, so this shouldn't be happening. The others, I wouldn't be surprised that the others that they could win the division. Whether it's Cincinnati made the playoffs last year, Cubs made the playoffs, and obviously the Brewers are running away with the division. In the last 4 years or so. So I think those three teams could all make the playoffs again. I think it's a fun division. It's unbelievable that there's 5 teams at division with winning records. There's only 4 in the entire American League with winning records.
and that's okay. Well, along those lines, because they were the beneficiary, the Yankees were the beneficiary of playing them. A lot of people like the Royals this year, and again, understanding what month it is. I mean, they're the American League version of the Mets right now. They can't score runs. How concerned should Royals fans be, even though it is relatively early?
I should be concerned. I mean, they were built to make the playoffs. Maybe not overtake Detroit with what Detroit did, but I think they certainly expected to be in the playoffs, if not win the division. So no, I think it's very disappointing. And just because it's a small market team, it's the Royals, no one's paying attention. But I don't think anybody anticipated this kind of start. But they're lucky in the AL Central. I mean, it's probably the weakest division in baseball. So if you're going to recover in a division, that's the one to be in.
I'm going to assume that the Mets are the most disappointing team in the NL, considering the 11-game losing streak and what their payroll is. I'm going to take the Royals out of it since we just talked about them. Who's disappointed you the most in the American League so far?
Then I'd probably switch over to Houston. They didn't make the playoffs last year, but they've been a power since 2016. So for them to be playing as bad as they have and just got swept at home by the Cardinals, I think their manager's in danger of losing their job. Joe Espada. I think Dana Brown could be in danger losing his job at the end of the season as a GM. But I go Houston being a bigger disappointment than the Red Sox. I really would.
How good, Strider's going to get healthy at some point, and they're playing good baseball. How good, in your opinion, can the Braves be?
Yeah, I'm stunned how well they're playing. I mean, when they're having all those injuries in spring training, losing 3 starters, losing Sean Murphy, their catcher, their shortstop, Kim, and doing this is mind-boggling. And they kept saying, "Hey, we're fine, we're fine."
Been fantastic.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable what they're doing. I fully expect them, particularly we're talking about, disappointments. You'll throw the Phillies in there too, but we're talking about those 2 teams, and Atlanta has a 6.5 game lead over those guys, and I think 8 over the Mets. Mm-hmm. I fully expect Atlanta now to be playing October baseball just like the old days.
Is there like something in the water down there in Atlanta? It feels like every year
Profar still suspended.
We're talking about, oh man, they'd be great if it weren't for the injuries, and well, if they ever get this guy back and they ever get that, like are they the most like snake bitten team over the last 5 years
for the high end potential of their roster?
For what we think of the guys that are on that roster? Have you ever gotten a good explanation, or is it just like, hey, we have the worst luck in the league?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has those pitching injuries, but they seem to have more. They need a Chris Sale to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. I mean, when Sale is healthy, I mean, unbelievable. I mean, everybody talks about the Red Sox trading a Babe Ruth, the curse of Bambino. I mean, what an awful move that was for the Red Sox to trade Chris Sale and pay his salary last year or 2 years ago too. So no, I think they seem to be cursed, but they're they're not missing Profar at all. They picked up Dominic Smith, who's been fabulous there as their left-handed DH. So they should be fine. And the one thing about Alex Tantopoulos, I think in LA, Andrew Freeman probably does the best job, even though he's got tons of money. I think Alex Tantopoulos is unbelievable himself. I mean, he always gets always finds the guys to make sure they compete.
Well, how good, I'm as a Dodgers guy, I'm always checking the rearview mirror, and I hate the Padres to be fudge, man. 13-2 in April, and I always hope that their window is closed because they spend good money and they haven't been able to get over the hump. I'd love to write them off. I know the roster's too good for me to be able to do that. But did you offensively? I know it, but no Musgrove right now, no Pavetta, and it hadn't mattered.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought this was the year they would drop down. I said, okay, they'd be lucky if they finish over 500 or 500 team. I still think they're playing over their head. I mean, there's guys not doing anything. Tatis has no power. Machado's sitting below 200. And I think that rotation is an absolute mess. And I think it's going to catch up to them. You can't rely on that bullpen night after night. So I think the Padres are playing way over their head. I expect them to drop down. I really do. I still think Arizona is a better team than the Padres. So we'll see what happens. I know they got new ownership group coming in, but they got to spend some money. They got to find some pitching. Boy, I think they fade away.
I just want to hit on Fernando Tatis real quick here. The lack of power, is that surprising to you? I mean, obviously 0 goose egg on the home runs this year. Like, am I being too linear to be like, well, he got suspended and then now he doesn't have any power? Like, what are we? But he's also been banged up a bunch. Like, what are we doing there with the lack of power from Tatis?
No, I think you're onto something. I mean, around baseball scouts and stuff a lot. It's like, okay, yeah, he's not that power because he's not on the juice. So he hasn't been the same guy since he got popped. And we'll see what happens. I mean, it's like when Profar had that unbelievable year with the Padres at the age of 31 or so, everybody in the world said, okay, what's going on here? It's not possible. And sure enough, he gets popped. So, no, it's fine. I mean, I was around Vladimir Guerrero over the weekend, and he only has 1 home run. But at least with Tatis, he can hurt you in so many different ways. Fabulous defensive right fielder, maybe the best in the game.
Yeah, him moving over there, it was like stealing.
The what now?
I said Tatis moving to the outfield to play right field was like stealing.
Yeah, and he's played some second base now too. He's becoming the Southern California's version of Mookie Betts. That athletic. They can play different positions. Memory came up as a shortstop too. So this guy can do it all as far as athletic ability. So the Padres being sold, maybe they don't have to dump Tatis. I thought, with the financial concerns, because they haven't spent much money the last 2 years, I thought they would have had to trade Tatis next winter. So maybe they don't have to do that now.
You mentioned the Diamondbacks, and Carroll's hurt again. Doesn't sound like AZ is super concerned over it, but he's back hitting for average and maybe the guy that he showed super early in his career. Do you like Arizona offensively enough?
I do. I mean, a very good offensive team. All the Ramen Diamond really. Perdomo was unbelievable at shortstop. Of course, you got Marte there at second base, and they got a lot of young guys coming in. Jose Fernandez and guys like that who are stepping up. Vargas. So they got a very good offense, and the pitching is good enough. I still worry about the bullpen, and the bullpen has been pitching well. But yeah, Carroll's an unbelievable player. If he was in a major market, everybody would know about this guy. I mean, you look at like the Cubs, everybody talks about Pete Crow Armstrong. Well, Corbin Carroll is light years ahead of him just with what he's done so far. Carroll's, he's got to be a top 5 player in the major leagues.
I've got a coworker that is a diehard Cardinals fan. I got a good buddies, diehard, lot of the Cardinals fans in the area, and I've always talked about last 15, 18 years, they've historically been Dodger killers, so I have an appreciation for their front office. But I boldly, and because I'm so not smart, I'm like, this has to be the year the Cardinals fall off. Young guys, I get the Weatherholt love and some of the youngins, but it doesn't look like much on paper. All they've done is won 4 or 5 in a row. They're 13-8. Again, I know it's April, but they have to be one of the more pleasant surprises up to this point, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Shocking, really. I don't see it lasting. I mean, they're in a full skill rebuild. If they got some players, to move in at the trade deadline, they'll do that. It's cool to see Jordan Walker finally being the Jordan Walker that they envisioned, all along doing his thing. So at least it gives you a lot of hope for a bright future. And this is the first time the Cardinals have been in a rebuild since, about mid-'90s. So it's tough for Cardinal fans. I know the attendance is way down, a lot of empty seats this year. But yeah, at least the future is bright. And I was texting with Ollie Marmol the other day. And I said, man, you imagine what you'd do if you guys had some, money and, some more talent on that roster. But they're playing, they're probably playing over their head more than any team in baseball right now.
I think we underestimate, because you mentioned Walker, again, another 6'6", 245-pound plus guy. Last week, Rod, you were talking about De La Cruz. We've seen it with Judge. You think we underappreciate in baseball just the size of some of these guys and how they move?
Yeah, no, tremendous athlete. It's almost like, you always, we sit around baseball scouts. Yeah, you mentioned LeBron James. What a great, right fielder he would have been if he played baseball, and some of his great athletes. Same way with, guys like, Judge or Walker, some of these guys, they could have been stars in different sports too. So, but it's great for Walker because they brought him up way too early. He struggled. People got down on him. I will say this: I think every team in baseball could have traded for him in the offseason, and got him at a decent price. And and now here he's finally stepping up, and they got a nice nucleus, with him and Scott and Wynn. They could go places here and rebound quickly in the NL Central, and be a contender. Maybe I thought it was going to be a couple years away. Maybe they're a serious contender a year from now.
Let me give you another guy in the same ilk, kind of flying under the radar, but I have to take advantage of your expertise. He's hit for power. The average hasn't come around, but again, another one of those young, big, strong guys. How do you have a James Wood comp?
Oh, not really. Yeah, I mean, he's a same thing. God, was he 6'7" or so? And tremendous power, tremendous athlete. So no, it's unbelievable what he's doing. Maybe he's a young Aaron Judge. When you think about it, as far as Judge is one of those guys that came slowly, and now he is the best hitter in all of baseball. So maybe a young Judge. I'm not saying it's going to be Aaron Judge, but certainly I think it's a good comp, particularly with his size.
So I got to ask you about the Tony Vitello experiment in San Francisco, because it certainly appears to be going poorly. How long do you think they stick with that, or do you think maybe it's not as dysfunctional as the narratives would lead you to believe?
Yeah, I don't think it's that dysfunctional. I really don't. Now, is he ready for it? Probably not. I mean, no one's ever done this before, going straight from college to Major League Baseball. And there's stuff he does that, I know, veteran managers and stuff roll their eyes, like, pretend like he's in a fight with one of his players, like he did their day with the young outfielder from Tennessee. He says some strange things a lot of times. So you kind of roll your eyes. I think it's a learning process, and they got to give him a long leash. I mean, they're the ones who stepped out and did this experiment, and what has shocked people is just how much money they're paying him. They're paying him, $3.5 million. Gave $3 million to Tennessee, $4 million to their old manager. So $10.5 million for a manager. Even though 3.5 doesn't seem like a ton of money, but for a first-year manager, it's about twice as much as any first-year manager has ever made in Major League Baseball history. So you got a lot of managers out there who paid their dues and stuff like that, who love nothing more to knock them off.
Let me ask you, I want to go back to the AL, because you mentioned only the 4 teams with the winning record. I think one of them that we expect it to be, but has yet to, is Seattle. Plenty. The floor seems pretty high for them. How high is the ceiling relative to what you think contenders will be doing in August?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason they'd be stunning if they're not back in the playoffs. I mean, they were one win away from against the World Series for the first time in franchise history a year ago. They still have that great pitching. I know they haven't pitched lights out like in the past, but the offense is better. What's Cal Raleigh have? 1 home run. I think he's in $150, $160. So that's not going to last. No, I fully expect him to be, right there at the end. Competing for the division title. Along with Texas, and I still think A's are 1 year away, and then be in the playoffs. But yeah, I think if they don't make the playoffs, I think that would be the biggest one of the big stunning things all year. Might even more than the Mets.
It's crazy because guys like Wu, who are in the middle of that rotation that you talked about, his WHIP is still under 0.9. He's got a 2.2 ERA and he's got a losing record. So at some point it will. You think that's it just going to regulate itself?
Yeah, I mean, they got too many pitchers. They're stud pitchers. They got them down below 2 in the minor leagues. Wu won yesterday. So no, I fully expect them to be fine. I think I want to say they got this kind of start last year too and bounced back. And the same thing as what the Blue Jays are relying on. Say, hey, we're below 500 up until Memorial Day last year, and then took off. So it's so early, just too early to judge saying the Mariners are going to struggle all year. I'd be stunned if they don't bounce back.
Kind of maligned as a division, but they don't have a team with a losing record. Are you surprised at the NL Central start?
Oh, I am. Like I said, I mean, St. Louis never would imagine to be over 500 at any time of the year, let alone 3 weeks in. So I don't think that's going to last. I still think the Pirates slip back. I still think they're at least a year away. But the other three, hey, why not? I mean, the Cubs they're always favored to win the division. The Brewers are the ones who always get the last laugh. And we saw last year what Tito Francona could do with the Reds. A lot of one-run games. I know they're 6-0 in 1-run games. I think 3-0 in extra inning games, and haven't lost a game decided by 2 or fewer runs. I think 11-0. So a lot of that's good managing. Now, will some of that turn around? Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're going to keep that record alive all season long. It's going to regress to the mean at some point. But they're doing this too without Hunter Green, their ace. It's a good team, and I think it shows how Francona is a Hall of Fame manager.
Last one for me, Bob. We've been having this debate about kind of Mike Trout and the season that he's been having. Obviously, got off to as good of a start basically as you can have in a career, but things have fallen off, whether it's injuries or the batting average falling off a cliff the last several seasons. Like what? The power appears to be back with some adjustment into his stance a little bit, but what do you expect from him as he's now in his mid-30s? Like, what do you expect the back end of this Mike Trout career to look like?
Well, I expect it to look like like it has been the past few years. Now, can he stay healthy? He stayed pretty healthy last year, and just wasn't that same guy. So, he always plays well at Yankee Stadium. He gets fired up for that. So, I mean, it was cool to see a glimpse of that. I don't expect that, we're going to see much of that, during the rest of his career, which is a shame. You want to go out strong and, it's just been such a massive drop off. It reminds you a little bit with Griffey when he had those injuries at the end of the career, just wasn't the same guy. So I think with Mike Trout, the same thing is like, okay, you hope you see a few more streaks of that as the years go on, because it's, been a terrific player. Unbelievable start with the Angels. Maybe not as good as a start as what Albert Pujols had to do with the Cardinals, but very good. And he'll be no matter what he does the rest of his career, he will be in the Hall of Fame, first ballot.
All right, last one for me, Bob. I want to go back to the Royals here a little bit. With some of the discussion about Salvi, is interesting last week. You saw where, he gets a day off. He publicly on X says, I don't need a day off. Like I want to play. Then they proceed to call up our guy and here in Omaha to catch. Like, how much of what you think is going on? I know you called him probably the biggest disappointment in baseball this far. How much of that do you think is internal in terms of what's going on in the clubhouse versus external, actually what we're seeing in production on the field?
Well, it certainly raised eyebrows for him to go public and say, "Hey, I don't need a mental day off." And all of a sudden you think, okay, there's problems between him and the manager. Man Quantrill, what's going on here? Then they had to talk and patch it up. But it's early in the season for that to come up and for Perez to do that. So for Perez to do that publicly, now all of a sudden you're wondering, okay, what's going on in that clubhouse? Do other guys feel the same way toward their manager? He could be on, he could be on the hot seat. I mean, they got to start playing some better baseball. But that was kind of raise your eyebrows. I know they said it's a little bit of miscommunication, but still, for him to be hot enough to kind of try to embarrass the manager, you don't see that. So there might be some more problems going on than we think.
At the end of the day, Salvador Perez, Hall of Famer.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny. I was talking to Max Scherzer today. And Scherzer's from St. Louis. He says it's a joke when people say Yadier Molina's not a Hall of Famer. He goes, he might be the greatest of all time. And but yeah, what Perez is doing, he's certainly in the Hall of Fame. I mean, when you look at him, Joe Mauer got in. Buster Posey is going to get in a year from now, and Perez has been a better all-round player than both those guys. So he's definitely a Hall of Famer.
There you go. Bob Nightingale, USA Today. Bob, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, my pleasure. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Bob.
That is Bob Nightingale from the USA Today. Let's take a quick break here. We will get to Ben McLAUGHLin from Husker Radio Network, your voice of Nebraska baseball, who, I don't know if you know this, DB, had a good weekend.
Yeah, they did.
They had a pretty good weekend.
They did.
We'll take a quick break here. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's the declaration of deals at Edwards Jeep and Ram Village Point in Council Bluffs. Lease the 2026 Ram 1500 Bighorn 4x4. Returning lessees just $389 a month. Non-returning $449 a month. Zero down. Shift into spring with deals this good. Only at Edwards Jeep and Ram. Or lease the 2026 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Sport S 4x4. Zero down. Returning lessees just $319 a month. Non-returning $369 a month. Don't wait. Declaration of deals won't last. Get to Edwards Jeep and Ram at Village Point in Council Bluffs today.
I thought we took really good BP. I think we prepared well, honestly, every day. There's not really a day where I go into the game saying, man, these guys just aren't ready, or we're mentally not there. I think we were the challenge I had for them before the game was like, let's come out today and respond like we always do after we lose a game. Like that type of urgency to come out and assume nothing and just go put your best foot forward and just respond. And that's exactly what we did. We came out like we've done a lot of times on Saturday, brought some momentum from that first at bat, and it was on.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Delivers the pitch. Sharply hit, fair ball down the left field line. This is going to end it. Boyer around third. He's going to trot home. And it's an exclamation point for the Big Red as they sweep 12th ranked USC. Their first clean sweep of a ranked opponent since 2015 when it was the Texas Longhorns here in Lincoln. The final today, Nebraska 16, USC 6.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Ben McLAUGHLin of Husker Radio Network, the voice of Nebraska baseball. What's going on, Ben? How we doing?
Morning, fellas. How we doing?
We're good, man. How this is crazy, just knowing your personality. How excited are you for baseball at the collegiate level versus baseball at the professional level of your fandom?
I mean, you talk about ends of the spectrum. I mean, one team's sweeping a ranked team, the other team can't catch a fly ball. So, yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the college aspect more right now.
What do you think? Let me stay with, because we just got off our MLB segment. I asked some questions almost specific to you. What would you do in the front office?
That's the frustrating thing, is because you looked at the moves that they made in the offseason and you're starting to wonder, like, is it Cole Reagan's time, like, to start breaking through? You're trying to soak everything you can out of Salvador Perez.
Are you?
Well, you're trying to. But you've got a budding superstar that has the attention of the baseball world with what he not only did last year, but in the World Baseball Classic. And then you make a couple of moves that you feel like are gonna, supplementary pieces. The Royals are notorious for that. Go get guys that aren't gonna be the most sexy free agent signing, or I wouldn't say trade, but they kind of refuse to do that. And then you got a guy in Jack Caglione that you're just kind of waiting to see. Can he do what maybe you thought he was doing in college, at least to a small level of degree of that. And unfortunately, things haven't gone super well. I happened to watch the end of that Tigers game late last week, where you felt like, okay, you're going to win this one, and then hopefully things start to turn. You don't, and things have just continued to tailspin.
What would you do with Salvi as a Royals super fan?
Like, I don't know what his value is to other franchises at this point, right? I mean, the Royal. Well, you disagree?
Well, I don't think you can move off of him out of your clubhouse. But if you fancies him, okay.
No. That's kind of what I was getting at. Is with everything that he's given you, he's helped provide the moments, right? He had the base hit against the A's in the wild card. That won that one. He's going to be in your Hall of Fame, and to his credit, he's never said a bad word about the Royals organization or management. And if there's anybody that has had the right to, it's him. And that's what kind of stings about his social media post over the weekend about
the mental
needing a mental break.
Yeah.
He's kind of has some thoughts, but to think about the ride that Salvi has taken us on. The Royals have seemingly stockpiled a bunch of catchers as a just in case with Salvi's situation. But yeah, I mean, as a Royals fan, I don't want to see him in another uniform, right? Similar to Alex Gordon, where they're a large part to it's going to be a long time since the Royals are as good as they were in 14 and 15, and I don't want to see him. It was painful to see Lorenzo Cain and Mike Moustakas and Eric Hosmer in other uniforms, but you knew the reality of keeping all those guys, the nucleus, was going to be impossible. Salvi is one that would just utterly sting because, like you said, DB, you don't know. Someone's going to go get him for a very specific reason and a very niche role, where in the Royals organization, he's everything.
Yeah, the Moustakas reference had me chuckling internally. I just missed the pajama bottom pants.
And the pine tar.
Oh, yeah. Nothing.
I think there was a period of time where he even had rosin bag on his hat. The equipment guy's just like, dude, really?
All right. So there's something about this baseball team, man, and you're as close to it as anybody. But I want to be careful here. How much of what you see with this baseball team, just kind of relentless, kind of staying on the gas, and I'll get to a couple of the specifics here in a sec, do you see overlapping with what you saw behind the scenes with basketball kind of as their backbone too, with the intangibles? Is this team becoming one of those intangible type baseball teams?
Yeah, I think you can draw some parallels there, right? I remember having some conversations with KP, but also some guys that, are on the staff and, running practices and things like that before they even touched the floor this year, talking about the team chemistry and camaraderie. And that's the first thing we've heard from this baseball staff about this team is how much these guys like each other. And it's always one thing to hear that and kind of take it for what it is from somebody else, but to see it, and I can point to any number of examples, right? Like we're probably 5 rows back on the bus, and the row right behind us, you've got Drew Grigo sitting next to Jet Buck. You've got Devin Nunez sitting next to Joshua Overbeek. Like you've got young guys sitting with old guys where typically, we all remember what it's like to be an older guy at some point in time, either in high school or in college or even professional. It's always a fight for the back of the bus or the plane when you get old.
Yep.
That's not the case with this team at all. I remember specifically we're driving to Auburn in a bus, and it's like an hour and 15 from Columbus, Georgia to Auburn. And everybody has a seat except for Joshua Overbeek and Dylan Carey. Those seniors are the ones standing in the aisleway or sitting in the aisleway for an hour and 15 to give their seat up for somebody else. So my point is you see things like that, and it helps on the field. And I think you saw that in basketball too. And then all of this is leading up to the word that makes teams dangerous in a season, and that's belief. Once you have that belief, like the basketball team started to gain, and the baseball team certainly has, and you have the talent to back it up, you become a handful for no matter who you're playing and regardless of situation.
Ben, as you're looking at kind of some of the logistics of how this played out over the weekend, is it too early or is it too linear to say Ty Horn in the bullpen solves most of your questions? And I guess the second part of that question is, do you feel like this is the version of Ty Horn they're getting out of the bullpen moving forward?
I feel like the first part of your question is yes. Like if Nebraska gets this version of Ty Horn or anybody else to help Jay Sean in the back end, you're going to go a long way. I'm thinking of the 2019 Michigan team that had that nasty rotation led by Tommy Henry and Jeff Criswell, who was the Sunday guy, I believe, in that rotation. And they moved him to the bullpen. And that's the team that went on the run to the national championship against Vanderbilt as basically the last team in the tournament, because they were able to have that bridge guy that could, start in the 5th inning and finish it. Not to say that's going to be Ty, but if you have a guy that can do things like that and you can weather the storm of a bad start, which we were able to see yesterday with Gavin Blachowicz, that's an elite weapon that not a lot of teams have. And not only that, but the mound presence and attitude that Ty has come out to pitch with, I think there's no other way to describe it other than piss and vinegar. Like that's just how he's come out of the bullpen. You saw it against Creighton, and you saw it a couple of times this weekend against SC, where he had that killer look in his eye like he did when he was shutting out UCLA in the Big Ten championship a year ago. So if he can keep rolling, I mean, he's 3 for 3. I think he's allowed 1 run in relief in 3 appearances. You're going to take that 8 days out of 7.
So let me would you boil it down to, because I'm trying to figure out, okay, obviously mentality coming in as a starter versus coming out of the bullpen is very different. Lots of guys are just better at one versus the other for whatever reason. For Ty Horn, you mentioned only the 1 run given up, didn't walk anybody this weekend across 6 innings against USC, which had been an issue for him earlier in the year. Like, would you just boil it down to, you hear that one had a little FU on it from the Creighton game. Like, would you just boil it down to he wasn't aggressive enough as a starter? Like, is that too fine of a point?
I think the thing with Ty is, it's hard. The thing that was, I think, puzzling for the coaches was it wasn't necessarily just the same thing every time, right? Like if it's just command, or you don't have your breaking stuff, or it's the walks, or it's the amount of hard contact you give it. Like it seemed to be something different with him every start. And that's what made it tough for the coaching staffs to kind of figure out. But I think it got to a point after the Oregon start where no matter what the situation was or reason was, it started to become just we need to make a change. There's just too many factors. The unreliability, regardless of circumstance, was too much to overthink at this point. And not only do I think it was good for the coaches, but I think it's been really good for Ty to kind of get a new role and just, a breath of fresh air. Maybe the pressure's off, so to speak. That's the other thing is, you could see the weight on his shoulders with the starts, just trying to do too much. And that's when Ty's gotten into trouble. So, I guess if you could sum it up to do, to fit one criteria, Ravi, that's probably what I'd say is, I think the game really started to speed up on him. But now that he can kind of take control, Nebraska can place him in a game where they're comfortable and confident, and Ty's comfortable and confident. I think you're kind of seeing that rejuvenation from him and new birth, so to speak, and it's coming at the right time.
It's fascinating. He was one of the things that I wanted to talk about because much like a guy like Rhett Stokes, who hit his way back into, I'm not even going to say good graces, right? But Stokes is easily one of those guys that could have been overlooked coming into this season. He's like, you know what? I'm going back to work. I'm going to find a way to stay in this lineup. But he's coming off a 3-hit day. Like, Ty could have gone south, heading to the bullpen, could have gone a number of directions for some of these guys. And they just kind of bulldog it. And I can't help but to think, like, there has to be, from whatever they're doing and I get it. It's cutesy. It's the C word, but there has to be something that's going on. And Sam intimated that this could have started way back at Maine, right? Coming back in a game and kind of, that bulldog mentality where guys just understand it. Whatever's going on, it's just part of the deal, but it's something. There's something bigger than what we're actually doing out there. I'm just going to do my role.
Yeah. I think, for Stokes, right? Like Rhett is a competitor. He's we have a lot of fun together. Rhett and I have.
How easy would it have been for him to just go into the season differently?
Or come back to the season at all. Like there was a real
good point.
There was a real conversation to be had if he was going to be part of this thing or not. After when everyone was clamoring to burn the whole thing down after the exodus after last year and questioning Will Bolt and the coaches on evaluating their roster, seeing guys leave or not being asked back at a rate that hasn't been seen in a long time. They were on the field against that Oklahoma team in Chapel Hill, and they knew they needed to get better. Right. And it's no disrespect to the guys that raised a trophy at the end of last year at the Big Ten Championship, but Rhett was a part of that. Rhett wasn't an everyday starter on that team. And just to tell it like it is, Rhett was basically told, you're not going to be an everyday starter if you choose to come back. You are going to be a culture glue guy that is going to be asked to, give us a look on defense, to be a late inning substitution if we need it. And Rhett's like, yeah, bring it on. I want to play college baseball one more year. And, it took a couple of injuries in the outfield and Jet Buck to slide out to left field to open that door. And, similar to Mac Moyer, he hasn't been able to take his name off the lineup card. And Will Bolt always tells us, if guys are doing their jobs, they write themselves on the lineup card. I don't have to do it. And Rhett's one of those guys. Moyer's one of those guys. And, you know, to what you were saying about the Maine thing, to me, Maine isn't even part of it. It goes even further back than that, to the second weekend in Texas, when you lose a tough one you shouldn't have lost against Louisville on Friday. You let one slip away against K-State. You're staring down the barrel of a top 5 team in Florida State on Sunday, when you could have just licked your wounds, took one on the chin, got on the plane back to Lincoln and said, this wasn't our weekend. But they kicked the dog out of Florida State on Sunday. And I know Florida State had a couple of guys not in the lineup, but Miles Bailey was still in the lineup. Their Sunday guy was still in the lineup. And Nebraska dominated them. And I think that's really where the belief started. It certainly took a step back against Auburn, but you saw that confidence continue to grow and that belief start there, to where, they're in the clubhouse before that Sunday game and Will Bolt is challenging these guys. How are you going to respond when you're kicked in the face? Because this isn't going to be the only adversity we see this year. And then I think you start to see all the stuff after that, the main stuff, winning the midweek games, and then certainly this weekend. But, there's just been a lot that's kind of happened to get to this point. And you just have to give all the credit in the world to the coaching staff for pushing all the right buttons.
Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't. I kind of thought I was not the one to tell the Stokes story. I'm glad. I was kind of dancing around it, right? You're like, look, man, he wasn't even going to come back. Like, the writing was on the wall, because I think we forget. We're misremembering how that season ended last year, and there was a ton of scrutiny. What are we going to do with the program? Is Coach Childress still invested in the pitching staff, and his time is split? Like, there's a lot, right, in that offseason, as you called the mass exodus. So to see the resolve, I think, is one of the main reasons why I wanted to touch on the intangible part of what this team is doing. Because look no further than this weekend, right? 2 of your Friday and Saturday starters had it rough, right? I mean, Katsky and Black weren't sharp, and Nebraska swept the thing, right? Like, that's hard to do when your starters give you those kinds of outings. And it wasn't too long ago we were wondering what Coach Childress was doing with this pitching staff. So everybody's kind of been doubted. For these guys to kind of be where they're at is a heck of a story.
Well, not only that, you're not getting good starts, but you're going up against a top 5 pitching staff in the country, to where your expected run output this weekend, I don't think
it's supposed to be low.
I don't think you would have put it at more than like 12 to 15 for the series.
Yeah.
And Edwards was better than I expected him to be. And I had high expectations.
Right or wrong, wasn't he?
He was really, really good and stoic. And, he looked like a professional. And I think I said this on the air on Friday. I was like, I don't think Nebraska cares if it's Shohei Ohtani out there on the mound. Just as long as it wasn't Mason Edwards, it was a breath of fresh air. And they hit like it. And then what they did to Gavel on Saturday was insanity. The 4 straight 2-out hits, the pitch count. I mean, the home run in the 3rd inning with back-to-back from Sandy and Carey's for the 2nd straight week. And then Grigo hit one that still hadn't landed yet. That was to me where it's like, okay, this team's not playing around. But I think the most impressive thing all weekend was, you have to give SC a ton of credit for throwing a pretty heavy uppercut to Nebraska in the 2nd inning with a 3-run homer and a 2-run homer. You're like, man, these guys aren't laying down after the last 2 games. You maybe expected them to be licking their wounds a little bit on Saturday after the way they lost, but they're like, all right, they're coming for blood on Sunday. And then Nebraska just dropped the hammer on them yesterday. And that's when Nick and I are like, shit, these guys are good. Like these guys can play, and they don't care about circumstance. Yes, it was one of the cooler weekends that I've been a part of to see all the people in the stands, but these guys were out for blood, and they made the 12th ranked team in the country look like they weren't very good at baseball. And that's a 30-win ball club that they just, took apart for 3 games.
Ben, that DB and I like to get a little philosophical sometimes and talking about, roster construction and team building and things like that. And I hear the the Rhett Stokes story about, hey, you're not going to be a full-time starter. And he's like, well, I'm coming back anyway. And then I hear about a team that goes and does the things that it does, whether it's in Texas, like you talked about, or, you know, being able to just grind through an Edwards start where he's mowing guys down and hang in there long enough to win that game. And
the grimy midday against Creighton, or midweek against Creighton, coming off of Oregon.
Yeah. And then you've got, you know, you're down 5-2 yesterday. You end up run ruling them again. Like, am I reading too much into the fact that you've got personalities like Rhett Stokes on that team that are like, I don't care about the circumstances. I'm coming back and you're going to have to deal with me. And then a team in general that doesn't really care about the circumstances and says, we're coming back, you're going to have to deal with me.
Yeah. And I think, you know, there's too many stories like the Stokes thing to throw out. Right. I mean, Joshua Overbeek's the heartbeat of this team. And, you know, I remember, you know, after the spring break trip and, you know, you're just tired, you're exhausted being on the road. And for this team, it was coming back from Michigan. Then you turn around, you play K-State on a Tuesday. And then, you know, the coaches want to load manage at times. And Coach Bolt sends out the pregame text on, you know, I don't remember what game it was, Friday or Saturday, and says, guys, we're going to hit inside, you know, take a little bit off before the game. And Joshua Overbeek texted Coach Bolt and said, no, we're not doing that. We're hitting outside. Boys want to hit outside, so we're going to hit outside. Bolt goes, okay, we're hitting outside. So I think it's just that attitude that is just, it's seeped all the way down from the Careys and the Sandersons and the Stokeses down to the freshmen. Now you're seeing Grigo and, you know, all these newcomers, even though Buck and Moyer aren't freshmen, but they're newcomers to the program, and they all embody the exact same thing. Jet Buck takes 91 to the helmet yesterday, takes a second to get his bearings, and then grabs his helmet and sprints to first base, right? Mac Moyer, we're up 9 runs, and he's ahead 2-0 in the count, and there's a 50-50 call that doesn't go his way, and he turns around to that umpire and asks a question about his strike zone. Like, these guys are just a bunch of killers that want to win and they want to compete, and I think you're seeing that show up in spades, you know, especially when their backs are against the wall.
So it's not even so much that we got the Grigo thing right and our off-season talk kind of previewing the team, but baseball is such a funny sport, because one of the things that I liked about him, and you had seen him, you know, in the fall aspect of it, so you had and you kind of knew what the guys were saying about him. For me, it was he played so much varsity baseball as a youngster. He acts like a professional when he's hitting. I think I was texting you during the game. It seems like the 0-for-9 7 Ks against Eugene, which we kind of forgot about, is later in the season. I think your response to me was that's about as much of a slump as he's been in, and he immediately snapped out of it against Creighton. He's been on a tear ever since. What is it about his temperament do you like that had you so high in the beginning?
Because he competes. You know, he's the first one you want to draft in a touch football game in your backyard, whether he's the fastest or strongest or not, because he's going to wear it, you know, put it all on the line for you. And that's a coach's dream. You know, he's a shortstop that comes to Lincoln and says, Coach, I don't care where I play. I just want to help the team win. And he's like, all right, you're going to go play right field because we need corner outfield. He said, done. I think it really helped playing Creighton on Tuesday. You know, being a Nebraska kid, I think, you know, that's a game that really shook his cobwebs out of Eugene. And it's baseball. You're going to have slumps. Like, you're not going to hit always. And like you said, he just handles himself like a professional. And, you know, even after the game yesterday, I gave him a big hug and I said, hey, congrats. You know, this is what you dream of. And he looks at me and said, yeah. And I go, dude, you can smile. Like, we just won. You know, like, he looked like the game hadn't started yet and he was getting ready to walk to the plate. I was like, we just won 2 10-run games in front of 21,000 people in 3 straight games. Like, you can smile a little bit and enjoy it. But that's just kind of how he is, man. Like, he's just
his dad was such a good player. I wonder if he gets that from him.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me, right? I mean, and he's waited his whole life to put on this jersey. And so he doesn't take that for granted. And he just wants to be a good teammate. He wants to help his team win. And when you do that, you do things that are maybe beyond your talent level. Not to say that he's not talented, because he is very, very skilled, very technically sound. He's a good college baseball player already. But I don't think you have backside bomb at 420 in your tool belt when you look like that, right?
Yeah, it's like he's very unassuming, right? He's got to be about a buck one, $190, maybe 95, maybe 6 foot. It's like he shows up a ton. And he was like, I'm gonna butcher this, but I think he was only like the 8th or 9th, maybe somewhere late 10s best prospect coming out of high school. And I'm thinking to myself, in the state of Nebraska, like, I get it. We play good baseball, but that guy had played a ton of games as a high school. He had a lot of swings, man.
Yeah, and he's the type of kid that's like, okay, rank me 10. That's cute. Watch this. Like, here's a 4 for 4. Like he uses, a chip on his shoulder. Very, very much a chip on his shoulder. And fits right in with our team. And I know our coaches just absolutely love him, and love what he's about.
That's Ben McLAUGHLin, play-by-play voice for Nebraska baseball. Appreciate the time as always, Ben.
Hey, twice, and we're really back-to-back show days. Don't get tired of us. I'll try to text a lot less so you can at least miss me a little bit, because I know we've talked a ton in a short amount of time.
I'll talk baseball anytime, any place. Plus, you all have my information, so reach out anytime.
And listen, for as bad as KC's off to a start, your Hornets are on the uptick. Nebraska's got a heck of a season. We're gonna try to get you guy this week. He's looking at his time, so we'll see if there's anything to this whole the other sports being good puts pressure on football sentiment that I keep hearing about.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, let's just enjoy it. We just enjoy it. Like,
the most Ben Mac thing ever.
We just enjoy basketball. We'll enjoy baseball. Football will come around in the fall, and then we'll get after it then.
Can I put that on a T-shirt? Yeah. Sure. Whatever.
Yeah. Please do. Send me one. I'm a large.
All context. Yeah, whatever. All right, be good.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
That's Ben McLAUGHLin.
Yeah. Whatever.
So I saw a shirt yesterday. I was out, and I kind of feel like it embodies this Nebraska baseball team a lot. And it's the line from The Last Dance where it goes, and I took that personally. It's a Jordan brand shirt, and they're printing them now in Carolina colors. It's just like, and I took that personally.
It's a fan. I'm glad he can do that, because I think he's around them so much. He knows what would be betraying confidence and not. I've heard the story, talked to Coach Bolt about like guys like Stokes. Why I bring him up specifically? Because he's all but left for dead, right?
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, nah, that's fine. Nebraska had an offensive line or linebacker. Yeah, I'm not on the 105 list. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
Right. Like when the more guys that you have that are like that don't resign themselves to what everybody else says, it's fascinating. Ty Horn could have gone south.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
yes,
we were like, oh shoot, man, perfect answer for a guy in the bullpen, man.
I said, are we sure?
You did ask me that.
I was like, are we sure?
Yeah.
And it wasn't so much about his temperament so much as the things he had struggled with, because again, smaller sample size, those base runners can be a problem in a hurry, right?
And he's embracing.
And now he's like, I don't give up base runners anymore. Apparently, it goes 5 innings, gives up, I think, 6 base runners yesterday. Hasn't hardly given up. I mean, like I said, hasn't walked anybody. That problem's just gone now.
And the cool thing is like they didn't subscribe themselves to like what everybody else was saying, right? Does Coach Childress miss seeing his son play, and how committed, and what's going on with this staff and the talent eval? And I'm just like, it wasn't that long ago.
It would also.
Do you remember the Exodus?
Oh yeah. It would also and it would also be really easy for a couple things there. Number one, it'd be really easy if you're Nebraska to look at things and be like, okay, well, we struggled in Texas, we struggled against Auburn, we lost 2 out of 3 against Oregon. Like at a certain point, if you're not wired a certain way, you're like, maybe we're not that caliber of team.
Especially in baseball.
Right? Especially in baseball when you're like, oh man, like
it's a lot of downtime.
You'd think we'd fluke into a couple of these a little bit more, right? But obviously that wasn't the case. The other part of this is you talk about that mass exodus and everybody panicking. And I juxtapose that with, I keep coming back to this, and I don't even remember who it was. I wish I did. But an interview that we posted about one of the Nebraska baseball players before the season being like, yeah, there were some cancers on that team last year.
Yeah, you do keep.
That's because I've never heard somebody say that out loud, like with their face and name on the record.
Was it Horn?
I think it might have been. I kept thinking it was Horn, but I don't remember for sure. And I need to go find it and look it up. It's on our Hail Varsity page somewhere. But like, just to like, when you compare those two things, it's like, oh yeah, probably needed the mass exodus. Like, you talk about all the conversations they had with people with Ben McLAUGHLin, and he goes, yeah, there's
AJ, it was Horn.
Yeah, like there's some people you're just like, yeah, we're not this isn't how we're playing baseball anymore. We're not doing that. I think it's really, really fascinating because, you know, we talk the most about basketball, football, but we talk a lot of baseball, and I find the mental input outputs really fascinating on the different sports, right? I think there's probably more overlap than we think, considering how different the dynamics of each sport are, but we really, really undervalue mental toughness in baseball.
Yeah, it's like you get
team mental toughness.
He went back to Florida State getting that win.
Yeah,
and
that was a great poll.
You come back that Friday, you beat Auburn, right? Then the very next day was the debacle, right? Where how did Ben say he was doing the broadcast? He like put his head down. He's like ball four. Like, remember?
We talked to him right after that.
They couldn't pitch.
Couldn't throw a strike.
Pitch it worth a lick. Sunday was the meltdown at Auburn, and you come back and it's like, all right, we got a little not inter squad. We got interstate.
Yeah.
You got Omaha. Then you had SDSU.
You just don't get a ton of opportunities to.
And they like recalibrated after. You got back-to-backers against FSU and Auburn, and then you lay the egg the next two against, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah,
like it wasn't competitive. I think Saturday they got 10 run.
Yeah,
and that Sunday, and you just remember I was like, hey man, it's kind of a tricky one coming back to Omaha. What are we thinking? And it was basically, we'll see how they bounce back.
Austin, do you have that clip?
On two completely different teams in 2 years here. One being a 40-win team, and we were somewhat together, and last year we kind of it was kind of a cancer. There was a couple guys that they were just a cancer to the team, and so it didn't. And like one guy impacts another. It was almost contagious. But this year is like almost like it happened instantly, where everybody just had that glue together, and it was pretty fun to see and pretty fun to be a part of.
How we undersaw that, like except when we see it, right? It's all we talk about in basketball.
Oh, what great chemistry they have,
and then
but we never talk about when we're trying to put a team together, right?
Because I think it's not cool to. It's an eye roll if they aren't winning yet. So like that's kind of what you have to.
We do eye roll it.
Nobody wants to hear the C word unless you're actually winning.
But people have brought this up a ton as well. Like a lot of teams are spending NIL money that aren't winning.
Oh no,
right? We're bringing up Florida State. We bring up LSU a lot of teams that are spending a lot of NIL money and aren't winning.
Did you see hoops this year?
Yeah, I mean, yes, right here in the state, I saw it.
Yeah,
right, and that's the funny thing too.
Touche.
Like chemistry and everything like that. It doesn't even have to be bad guys. That's the hard part about this, right? It's really easy not to recruit a bad guy. It's also apparently really easy to recruit some bad guys because people fall for it all the time.
That's a good point, Chuck. And he went right back to you see who they just got out of the portal?
Yep.
DeVries?
Yep. And that's a guy that knows.
Yeah.
Like that's a guy that knows. Yeah. Right. But there is, we roll our eyes when we're talking about like, what do you think a lot of secret sauces in Indiana, but one of them is like that team has its culture set and they aren't bringing a soul in that doesn't fit that. Right? You're telling me he couldn't have gone out and gotten any quarterback in the country that he wanted to replace Fernando Mendoza? You're telling me he's like, oh, Josh Hoover's the only one that wants to come here? I don't think so. I don't buy that.
Yeah.
Right? But when you're looking at it with Nebraska football, and you again, people, like you said, roll their eyes because they haven't won enough yet.
And maybe Sam was on to something. You know, my buddy texts. He says that my son was with Berkey a lot over the last couple of weeks. He said Berkey is kind of aching to Gronk. Some guidance will help do him well. You know, like, so to Sam's point with the pieces behind the pieces.
Sure.
Like you don't really know unless like you watch it.
Spend a lot of time around that.
Unfold. But I do know one thing about Vandy.
What's that?
If Tanner's back and you know you got a head coach that got the extension, Vandy should be pretty good next year.
Tanner's so good. He's unbelievable.
He's elite.
That's the show for today. That's DB. I'm Ravi. You got a question, Rico? What's up?
What up, Suave?
I say you're talking about building a team and teams winning and all that. Nebraska softball, new number 1.
Yeah, Softball America got them one, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're, boy, again, a team that had to show some resolve.
Yeah.
What noise, rainbows, and butterflies. Interesting how that works.
You know, it's almost like it's the thing that matters the most. And
your girl, Alexis Jensen.
Isn't she something?
She's crazy. I love it.
Hell yeah. She had a couple of those. Fits their coaches. Her Coach Simple fits their personality.
Well,
they started when I did.
Well, who did?
So I think Coach Ravel was 93.
Oh, yeah.
And when she had Coach Simple with her, and I was like, huh. So that's why I always cheer the way I do.
Talk about people that have endured some things.
Yeah.
That might be a team that has taken on her personality.
With a state that's always played good softball around her.
Mm-hmm.
It's been fun to watch.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back tomorrow. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.